Chapter 1081. Even though the Celestial Empire was vast, it only took the 50,000 Protoss army a month to conquer the entire territory of the Celestial Empire. 14 provinces all submitted to Yangshang. On the 27th day of the 8th month, under the support of Baiming Yuan and Chen Yu, Yangshang ascended the throne in the Celestial Pole continent and called himself Emperor Shang. He named the country Shang and named it Shang. It was called Shang and was called Great Shang. It stood as an equal to the Qin Empire on the other side of the ocean. The Great Shang had more than 1.5 million human soldiers and nearly 60,000 Protoss soldiers. The military power was jointly controlled by Yangshang and Dora. Yangshang knew how to make good use of people. He appointed Chen Yu and Baiming Yuan as the left and right prime ministers to govern the fertile land of the Great Shang. A month passed in the mortal world, and another year passed in the 64 domains. Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and Tang Xiaoxi's cultivation had improved a lot. Among them, Lin Muyu had reached the 95th heavenly abode, while Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi had reached the 90th heavenly abode on the same day. The three of them had reached a level where they could rule a region. Today was a big day for the 64 domains. Xiao's oracle from the Eastern Divine Realm had arrived. At noon today, she would use the Northern Heavenly Will to open the enchantment above the Devouring Heaven Domain's castle and connect it to the realm of the gods. This would last for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. This way, Lin Muyu would be able to lead the 60,000 Protoss army out of the prehistoric secret realm. The weather was scorching hot and the sun was scorching the earth. The sky above the domain castle was filled with people. The 60,000 people of the Dragon League had come out in full strength. Even Luo Tianji would be brought along with them to the divine realm to enjoy eternal life. Lin Muyu had changed into a brand new white robe. This was the white robe that she wore in the Shattered Cauldron realm. There was even a purple flower embroidered by Qin Yin on it. So many years had passed. Everything had changed, but Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi were still by her side. Lin Muyu's feelings for them had never changed. This was probably the rarest thing in the world. The enchantment will be opened soon. Qin Yin looked at the sky. There was a glimmer of hope on her snow-white face. She smiled and said, "We have been in the 64 domains for more than 3 years. I really don't know how the outside world has changed." Lin Muyu couldn't help but smile and said, "It has only been 3 months outside. How much can change?" "Xiao Yin, don't expect too much." Qin Yin smiled. Tang Xiaoxi said, "We can finally return to the Shattered Cauldron realm. However, the three of us are already consummate god emperors. General Feng, Sister Chu Yao, and Ouyang Yan probably haven't improved much." "This feeling is really," Lin Muyu looked at her gently and said, "that's why we should protect them even more. If there's a chance, we'll send Big Brother Feng, Sister Chu Yao, and the others into the 64 domains to cultivate for a period of time. After all, the people left in the 64 domains are all our people." Yes. The Dragon League left nearly 1,000 gods to govern the 64 domains. Their loyalty was not a problem. Just at this moment, the wind and clouds in the sky suddenly changed. Rays of purple clouds appeared in the sky. Amidst the hissing sounds, strands of light blossomed, as if a door had been opened. Faintly, a graceful heavenly sound could be heard. The door to the Eastern Heaven realm had already been opened. This was the effect of the northern region's Tian Luan and Ziyao's divine power. Lin Muyu raised her voice and said, "Go, the Eastern Divine Realm is waiting for us. Brothers of the Dragon League, let's go." Let's go." Feng Zhanlin and Nangong Lai laughed. They took the lead and rushed into the gate of heaven. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared from the 64 domains. The rest of the people also flew over. For a moment, it was very spectacular. It was as if countless meteors had crashed into a wormhole. It was beautiful and breathtaking. In less than the time it took to burn half an incense stick, the 60,000 Dragon League troops had all entered the passage. Lin Muyu immediately held Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi's small hands in each hand and rushed into the gate of heaven. Their bodies suddenly entered the speed of light. They sped along the plain passage. Countless stars around them quickly receded. About 5 minutes later, the ground in front of them suddenly brightened. The three of them had already appeared in the territory of the Eastern Heaven Realm. In front of them, the densely packed Dragon League troops covered the sky. Not far away, there was a huge golden rock that soared into the sky. It was the holy book of the Eastern Divine Realm. All the gods who entered the Eastern Divine Realm would have their name and godhead displayed on the holy book. Otherwise, even if they were to sneak in, they would be expelled very quickly. Not far away, a few rays of light flew over. It was the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor with Xiao, Sun Feng, Qing Ping, and the other gods. When he saw Lin Muyu, the Demon Emperor immediately opened his arms and hugged him. It was as if they had reunited after a long time. The group of gods behind the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor said respectfully, "Greetings, Lin General." Lin Muyu still had the dignity of the Marshal of the Left Army. "You have been in the ancient mystery realm for 3 years, right? Good lad, you're much stronger now." The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor patted Lin Muyu's arm with great force. Godly power burst forth. Good lad, it was all thanks to Lin Muyu. If it were anyone else, they might not have been able to withstand 30% of the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor's strength. It seemed like the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor also wanted to test the extent of Lin Muyu's strength. However, Lin Muyu did not budge. His aura was extremely steady. His entire person was like a mountain. The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor's several pats only hit Lin Muyu's protective energy barrier. It did not budge at all. "You're that strong?" The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor was shocked. Lin Muyu smiled slightly. "Big brother, it's very simple if you want to test my martial arts. Let's each use 50% of our strength and fight first appearance of the stars." "Okay." The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor was overflowing with excitement. He suddenly shouted, and a bright light appeared in his palm. It was first appearance of the stars. Although he did not learn the star technique, with the Demon Emperor's talent, he understood everything after watching Lin Muyu practice it a few times. His proficiency in first appearance of the stars was not any lower than Lin Muyu's. Buzz buzz, Lin Muyu also opened her right hand, and a bright light appeared in her palm. A strong wind blew, and her cloak fluttered. Her aura was not inferior to the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor at all. She blasted it out in a straight line. Everyone retreated. Even Xiao, Qin Yin, and other gods with extremely high cultivation retreated tens of meters to avoid being affected. There was no need to mention the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor's cultivation. He was originally one of the top figures in the 3 realms. Now that Lin Muyu had cultivated 95 grotto heavens, her strength could not be underestimated either. She was no longer the young boy from before. Boom! The airflow caused by the explosion was so strong that many weaker gods were blown to the side. This attack was just a small test by the 7 luminaries Demon Emperor and Lin Muyu. The two figures collided and separated. The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor slightly opened his palm, and a circular mist evaporated around his 5 fingers. He could not help but say in surprise, "Good lad, you actually fought on par with me?" Lin Muyu shook her head. "It's not a fight on par, it's still a level lower. My arm is so numb from the shock." The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor waved his hand and smiled. "Actually, I'm numb too, but I'm the master of the celestial realm. I have to hold it up." Lin Muyu looked at him in disdain. "Have you prepared a welcoming banquet for us tonight? Of course, we can drink for 3 days and 3 nights. The banquet will not stop." I've already ordered all the resources of the Eastern Divine Realm to be brought out. In order to gather all kinds of delicacies, I've already ordered the divine servants who prepared the banquet to go to the mortal world to look for ingredients. We can eat the delicacies of the spiritual realm, Great Will realm, Luo Qian realm, and other realms today. That's great. Tang Xiaoxi, who was beside Lin Muyu, could not help but laugh out loud. The seven luminaries demon emperor stretched his head to look at Tang Xiaoxi and Qin Yin. He lowered his voice and laughed. Brat, why haven't you taken down the two peerless beauties, Shao Yin and Shao Shi? Don't be too arrogant. Be careful, there are many handsome gods in the Eastern Divine Realm. Lin Muyu was speechless. Didn't you also not take down Sister Xiao? You weakling, you really don't know how to chat. Let's go to the banquet. Lin Muyu looked at the sky. It was almost dusk in the celestial realm. Coincidentally, she did not have anything to eat in the 64 domains. She could eat to her heart's content in the celestial realm. The spirited mountain where the seven luminaries demon emperor resided was enshrouded in celestial qi. It was very gorgeous. Banquets were set up from the main hall all the way to the altar. This banquet needed to entertain at least 100,000 godly state experts. One could imagine how luxurious it was. Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and the others were arranged to sit in the main hall, which was naturally the place closest to Jizun. What, the Northern Heaven realm is involved? When she heard about Yangshang, Lin Muyu could not help but stand up from her seat. Her expression changed drastically. Don't get too excited. The seven luminaries demon emperor said. A mere Yangshang won't amount to much. Furthermore, he will not make a move against the Shattered Cauldron realm for the time being. He will at least wait until his army has finished reorganizing. How many days does a god need to rest? Lin Muyu frowned and said, No, I'm worried. It's too dangerous for Big Brother Feng, Big Sister Chuyao, and the others to stay in the Shattered Cauldron realm. If Yangshang really makes up his mind to assassinate them in the Shattered Cauldron realm, I'm afraid that Big Brother Feng, Big Sister Chuyao, and Ouyangshang won't be able to stop Yangshang. That's right, they won't be able to stop him. But don't worry. The seven luminaries demon emperor pointed to the illusory pool not far away and said, That's the illusory pool of the heaven realm. You can see everything in the mortal realm. I have arranged a group of people to keep an eye on Yangshang. As long as he acts rashly, I will be able to detect it. Don't worry, Yangshang is currently busy holding his ascension ceremony in Tianji City. Ascension ceremony? Lin Muyu was finally relieved. She sat down again and said, Yangshang is going to be the emperor? That's right. The seven luminaries demon emperor raised the corner of his mouth. This guy isn't satisfied being a marshal in the celestial realm. He wants to taste the taste of power. So after he unified the celestial pole continent, he called himself Emperor Shang, and became the local emperor of the entire celestial pole continent. According to the information we have gathered, it seems that the northern divine king Dongming has let him be. He doesn't want to care about Yangshang's misdeeds in the mortal realm. Lin Muyu said, Then I'm going to the Shattered Cauldron realm to play with Yangshang. Don't underestimate the enemy, Big Rain. Xiao said, Yangshang's strength is not bad. You may not have the confidence to win. Moreover, he still has the 60,000 Celestial Realm army. You can't underestimate him. Also, Yangshang still has 20,000 reserve troops in the Celestial Realm. So, we need to think about it carefully and not underestimate the enemy. Sister Xiao, don't worry. The cards in my hand are not as simple as the 60,000 Celestial Realm army in the Dragon League. Oh. The seven luminaries Demon Emperor, Xiao, Sun Feng, and the others' mouths formed an O shape in unison. Chapter 1082. Tell me, what other trump cards do you have? The seven luminaries Demon Emperor asked. Lin Muyu curled her lips. Gomang, tell the demon emperor. Yes, leader. Gomang stood up and said respectfully, Your Majesty, Lin General is now the great leader of the Jiuli tribe. Other than the 60,000 Dragon League soldiers, there are also 8,000 Xing Tian soldiers. These soldiers ride on undying phoenixes and are extremely powerful. They are hidden in the Immortal Mountain. In addition, there are 30,000 Immortal Gonggong Navy soldiers hidden in the primordial waters. These 30,000 Gonggong Navy soldiers are the kings of the water and can be said to be the strongest navy in the three realms. The seven luminaries Demon Emperor touched his chin and said, Although I don't know what kind of army they are, they sound very powerful. Can you subdue them? Yes, I have the star stone left behind by Chiyu. That is the signal arrow to command the heavenly army and the navy. Great! The seven luminaries Demon Emperor was excited. Including these troops, you has a divine realm army of 100,000 soldiers. Even if Yangshang mobilizes all his troops, he may not be a match for you. This way. You can unify the Shattered Cauldron realm while I watch from the sidelines. If Dongming reinforcements, I will too. This time, we can play with the Northern Divine Realm. Lin Muyu nodded. But I have to reclaim these troops first. What are you going to do? The Demon Emperor asked. Lin Muyu said without hesitation, There's no time to lose. After the banquet, I will send the 4 great witches with 60,000 Dragon League soldiers to the Shattered Cauldron realm to protect Lanyan City. With the 4 great witches there, Yangshang can't do anything to Brother Feng and Sister Xiao. I will go to the Immortal Mountain myself and find the 8,000 Xing Tian soldiers. I will bring them to the Shattered Cauldron realm and teleport to Earth to find the 30,000 Gonggong Navy soldiers. That's good too. Come, let's drink first. We haven't seen each other for so long, let's at least enjoy this meal. Alright. In the end, they drank until they were drunk. Even when it was late at night, the spiritual mountain was still brightly lit. The prosperity of the Eastern Divine Realm almost dazzled the gods of the 64 domains. After being listed in the Divine Book, the Divine Realm still gave them eternal life. What they had to do next was to contribute their strength to Lin Muyu, Lin General, and fight for a place in the mortal world. In the end, they decided to go to the Shattered Cauldron realm the next day. Meanwhile, Lin Muyu brought the 4 great witches to the Immortal Mountain to look for Xing Tian's heavenly army. Leader, is your body okay? Gomang looked worried. Lin Muyu knew what he was referring to. She smiled slightly and spread out her 5 fingers. Immediately, streaks of purple flames appeared and evaporated all of the alcohol in the air. Her entire being became spirited as well. Let's go to the Immortal Mountain. Yes. Qin Yin, Tang Xiaoxi, Demon Emperor, Xiao and others also went with them. They also wanted to see how powerful Xing Tian was. They flew over the mountains and saw that the star world under the jurisdiction of the Eastern Divine Realm was like a dazzling gemstone. This was a gift from the universe. Under Xiao's lead, they soon flew to the top of a spiritual mountain that was shrouded in dark light. This is the Immortal Mountain. Xiao pursed her red lips and said, Below the Immortal Mountain is the Immortal Spring. It is said that the source of eternal life of the Eastern Divine Realm is here. However, no one knows what Xing Tian's heavenly army is hiding in the Immortal Mountain. I don't know if it is true or not. We will know once we go and take a look. Lin Muyu was the first to dive down. Sure enough, the spiritual mountain was very ordinary. There was only a gurgling immortal spring on the dark mountain, which added a bit of scenery. Everyone looked everywhere, but they didn't find the slightest trace of it. Could it be that the legend is fake? The 7 luminaries Demon Emperor muttered to himself. It can't be, it definitely can't be. Zhulong hurriedly shook his head and said, Xing Tian's heavenly army was once the pride of the Jiuli tribe. It definitely won't disappear just like that. The ancestral god told us that the Xing Tian's heavenly army is hidden here, so it can't be wrong. The ancestral god wouldn't lie to us. Sun Feng, who was at the side, frowned and said, but after so many years, generations of gods have fallen. Even Qi Yu ended up with his soul scattered. That Xing Tian's heavenly army might have been wiped out at some point, right? What are you talking about? Zhu Long suddenly grabbed Sun Feng's collar. What kind of person was Sun Feng? He was one of the two great marshals of the Eastern Divine Realm and a 99th level heavenly passage expert. With just a light shake, he broke free from Zhulong's grasp. With an indifferent gaze, he said, "You, control your people. They are too rough." Lin Muyu could empathize with Zhulong's feelings. She only faintly smiled and said, "Sun Feng, please be more understanding. Also, don't speak nonsense. I also believe that Xing Tian's heavenly army won't be wiped out. But this immortal mountain is barren. Apart from the immortal spring, there is nothing else. Where would Xing Tian's heavenly army be hiding?" Qingping said with a frown. "The immortal spring. That's right, the immortal spring." Gomang's eyes lit up. Xing Tian's heavenly army has 8,000 phoenix mounts. They should be raised high up, but they are easily discovered and killed. It must be the immortal spring. They are hiding under the immortal spring. Is that so? Let's go in and take a look. The 7 luminaries' demon emperor raised his hand, and the cold water of the immortal spring immediately parted to form a passage. It was an understatement, but it was enough to show how proficient he was in controlling the laws. It was likely that any of the 7 luminaries' demon emperor's laws were not inferior to those of the main gods. He had already displayed the power of his supreme personality to the fullest, and this was also something that Lin Muyu was slightly lacking in. Amidst the gurgling sounds of water, everyone flew to the bottom of the cold pond. Immediately, the surroundings were filled with a chill. Lin Muyu pulled out the Xianyuan sword, illuminating everything around them. As expected, there was a cave at the bottom of the cold pond. After passing through the cave, there was another world. There was actually another world in the depths of the Spirit Mountain. There was a temple-like building in the surroundings, with towering stone pillars erected all around. The totem patterns carved on the pillars were in the shape of cow heads. This is the place. Everyone flew inside. Gomang couldn't help but laugh loudly. This is our clan's totem. Xing Tian's army must be hiding here. Quickly, find out where they are. Yes. Everyone searched around, but found that the entire stone cave was empty. There was nothing except for the buildings and the totem. Impossible. Where did they go? Gomang was a little disappointed. Qin Yin raised the East Flower sword and floated between the caves. Her gaze fell on the cave. There were protruding lumps there, like stalactites formed by water droplets, but it didn't look like it. It was more like something that had been chiseled by an axe. Could they be in here? She pointed. Lin Muyu, the 7 luminaries' demon emperor, and the others flew over and were stunned. There were many such lumps in the cave, and they were densely packed. This seemed to be the only explanation. Break one open and see. Yes. Zhulong waved his sword and split open a stone block. Suddenly, they saw a huge stone statue inside. It was an ancient warrior, riding on a phoenix, holding a huge stone axe in his hand, and looking serene. Why is it a stone? The 7 luminaries' demon emperor frowned and said, could it be that after hiding here for millions of years, they have become petrified? Impossible. Gomang was a little upset and said, they are the army of the celestial race. After so many years, they will only become stronger. It's impossible for them to become stone. It's impossible. Tang Xiaoxi held Lin Muyu's arm and said, Mu, why don't you try using the star stone? Didn't you say, the star stone is the token to command them? If they don't see the star stone, I'm afraid they won't dare to wake up, right? Yes. Lin Muyu nodded and took out the star stone from her Qianquan bag. Instantly, the gem blossomed with brilliant light in the cave. Swoosh! The light rippled like water, and in the blink of an eye, it swept across the entire cave. Instantly, the stones that were stuck to the cave bulged and cracked. The moment the stones cracked, they could see the luster of golden skin. Following that, there was a dazzling flame. It was the luster of a phoenix spreading its wings. Very soon, the stones cracked one by one, and the warriors riding on the phoenix flew in the air. Their faces were filled with astonishment. It was probably because they had been sleeping for too long that they were stunned. Gomang was overjoyed. He held the Gomang saber and summoned 2 white dragons. He laughed majestically and said, "Xing Tian slaves, do you still remember me?" All the warriors looked at him, and in the blink of an eye, everyone revealed a look of reverence. Jiari greetings to sorcerer god Gomang. They hadn't spoken for so long that they couldn't even speak clearly. Gomang smiled and said, "The one who woke you up wasn't me, but the new lord leader." With the star stone in hand, Lin Muyu flew forward and said, "From today onwards, you will only listen to my orders. Do you understand?" After seeing the star stone, the eyes of the heaven army were filled with even more reverence. They all landed on the ground and knelt down from the back of the phoenix. "Greetings to Lord Leader. All right, return to the divine realm. There will be new orders very soon." "Yes, Lord Leader." There were exactly 8,000 Xing Tian army, and what surprised Lin Muyu was that their strength was very average. Almost all of them were at the 50th Celestial King realm. Although they didn't comprehend the divine wall, with the sharp blades in their hands and the flame power of the phoenix, once they launched an attack, it would be very impressive. This night was destined to be a sleepless night in the Eastern Divine Realm. It was very lively. Many gods went to see the Xing Tian army hidden in the Fountain of Youth. With this, the Divine Realm army in Lin Muyu's hands had reached 70,000. It could be said to be a powerful army. The next morning, everyone gathered on the Spirited Mountain and waited for the Gate of Heaven Realm to open. They would head to the mortal realm together. This was their first mission, and perhaps the only mission that Lin Muyu directly gave them. The warm morning light bathed everyone's body. The morning light separated the starlight and quickly gathered to form a huge passage. This was the passage that Xiao opened for everyone to head to the Shattered Cauldron realm. "It can't last for long. We have to hurry," said Lin Muyu loudly. Everyone flew away in shuttles. Shattered Cauldron realm, Lanyan City. Suddenly, thousands of light rays bloomed in the sky and illuminated the whole world. Swoosh! Feng Jixing rushed out of the Imperial Army's tent and looked at the countless starlight rays falling from the sky. He couldn't help but smile and said, "You is back. Her Highness Empress is back. Someone, come quickly. Old Zhang, Guanxing, we will head to the Zhe Tian Palace immediately." Chapter 1083. Zhe Tian Palace. The wind blew, and the clouds surged. Beams of golden light fell on every part of the palace, including the stairs, the altar, and the roof. They were everywhere, accompanied by strong gusts of wind and warm energy that spread in all directions. The palace maids screamed in fear. The royal guards pulled out their swords and lined up in a row to protect the people in the palace. Only Su Yu, Ouyang Yen, and the others lived in Zhe Tian Palace. Swoosh! Su Yu dashed out of the back hall and looked up at the sky. Her face was pale. "What's going on? What's going on? Is it a celestial phenomenon? Ouyang Yen, say something." Ouyang Yen walked over slowly with a smile. "Don't be too nervous. It's the scene of the gods descending. The fact that they can directly descend above Zhe Tian Palace means that they understand Zhe Tian Palace. Don't worry. They should be on our side." "On our side?" Su Yu was startled and said, Xiao Yin is back. Most likely. That's great. Su Yu was surprised. Xiao Yin is finally home. That's great. In these 3 years, Su Yu's ability to support the imperial court was truly somewhat lacking. If it wasn't for Feng Jixing, Qin Yan, Chu Yao, Xiao Han, and the others doing their best, perhaps this ownerless world would have long been torn to shreds. At that moment, the light in the sky grew brighter and brighter. Waves of power surged out and golden ripples could be seen everywhere. Figures appeared under the pillars of light. It was the Dragon Alliance and the Heavenly Xingtian army. Everyone, be on guard. The commander of the royal guards and dragon guards roared. Clang clang clang. The blades were unsheathed, and standard longswords shining with a cold light were pointed straight at the figures. Most of the imperial guards were at the heaven realm, and they had a basic understanding of the power of domains. That was why the power that rippled out from the people who descended from the sky was so strong that the imperial guards felt chills run down their spines. They were all incredibly nervous. Swoosh swoosh swoosh, 3 beams of light fell on the stairs in front of the palace. In the blink of an eye, 3 figures appeared in the golden light. They looked very good with their cloaks fluttering. However, the light was too bright. No one could see who they were. Be on guard, protect Lord Su Yu. The commander of the dragon guards had already drawn his sword and bellowed, report your name, or I'll make my move. In the face of a power that was absolutely stronger than him, he still drew his weapon. The determination and courage of this dragon guard commander was admirable. If it were an ordinary person, they would have had a mental breakdown. The golden light turned into starlight and slowly dispersed. A figure walked out from the light. She wore a red and white dress that wrapped around her graceful figure. Her beautiful face that was as brilliant as the stars had a refreshing smile on it. Aunt Luo, it's me, Su Yu shuddered. Who else could this peerless beauty that descended from the sky be other than Qin Yin? It's really Xiao Yin. Su Yu's voice was trembling. She rushed forward and hugged Qin Yin. Qin Yin also hugged her tightly. Qin Yin had almost no relatives left in this world. Su Yu could be considered the closest one. The commander of the dragon guard stood there blankly with his sword in hand. At this moment, the light flickered and 2 other people walked out of the light screen. They were Lin Muyu and Qin Yin. Seeing that the commander of the dragon guards was in a daze, Lin Muyu smiled and asked, Qin Luan, are you still going to point your sword at the Empress? Qin Luan's body trembled. He hurriedly put down his sword, knelt on one knee, and said in a deep voice, General Qin Luan pays his respects to the Empress, Lin General, and Princess Shi. The group of dragon guards also put down their weapons and knelt down one after another. Finally, the Empress, Qin Yin, had reappeared in the shattered cauldron realm. Furthermore, her strength had reached the stage of being reborn. She was no longer comparable to the previous Qin Yin. Why? Ouyang, you don't recognize me anymore? Lin Muyu asked with a smile. Ouyang Yan's mouth was already agape. She said, to be honest, Your Highness you, even though your appearance hasn't changed, your strength has changed too much. I have always looked at people with my heart. In this case, I almost don't recognize you anymore. Lin Muyu saw through Ouyang Yan's cultivation with a glance. She had already stepped into the God the Arch realm with 63 grotto heavens. She smiled and said, You haven't been idle these few months. You have stepped into the God the Arch realm. Not bad, Ouyang Yan pouted and acted coquettishly, you always see through me with a glance. Cough cough, enough, Lin Muyu was a little embarrassed. After not seeing Ouyang Yan for so long, she still hadn't changed much. At this time, the sound of footsteps came from the direction of the palace gate. Very quickly, a few figures flew over. It was Feng Jixing, Qin Yan, Wei Chou, Situ Sun, Situ Shui, Zhang Wei, and the others. They had reunited after a long time. All of their faces were filled with joy. Lin Muyu immediately rushed over and hugged everyone. Situ-sen, Wei Chou, and the others laughed out loud. Actually, everyone had always been worried that something would happen to Lin Muyu when he was cultivating in the outer realm. Now that he had returned and was even more handsome, they knew that he was fine. Furthermore, his strength had increased by several folds. "Big brother Feng, how have you been these few months?" Lin Muyu asked. Feng Jixing chuckled, "Same as always. My strength hasn't increased much. I just stepped into the 40th grotto heavens not long ago. On the other hand, you are now unfathomable." "What realm have you reached?" Lin Muyu said, 95. Feng Jixing turned pale with fright. Then, he laughed out loud, "Ha ha ha. That's great, that's really great. I was originally worried that Emperor Shang of the Celestial Pole continent would mobilize his army to the west. If that happened, none of us would be able to stop that person. It's rare that you have broken through to this realm. This is really great. Then, I have nothing to be afraid of. I can have a good sleep now." As he spoke, Feng Jixing had a sorrowful look on his face. Lin Muyu knew what he was thinking. Feng Jixing was a person who had both arrogance and humility in his heart. He pursued even stronger strength, but he wouldn't rashly have killing intent. Back then, Lin Muyu and his strength were only on par, but now, the disparity was too great. So much so that right now, even 10 Feng Jixing wouldn't be a match for Lin Muyu. This kind of sorrowful feeling was natural. "Big brother Feng, there will be a chance." Lin Muyu patted his shoulder and said, "This time, I brought back quite a lot of good things from the 64 domains. Among them are the seeds and fruits of rare spirit fruits that can increase cultivation. Don't worry, with your aptitude, you can break through to the 90th level of Grotto Heaven within a year. Moreover, you will have me to help you." Feng Jixing couldn't help but laugh. "I knew that you have a conscience. You won't forget us brothers who stayed in the Shattered Cauldron realm to clean up after you." Wei Chou and Situ-sen also laughed. "Lin General, don't forget us too. Don't worry, we will all have a share." Lin Muyu said, "In the future, we will move unhindered in the immortal realm together. Let's not talk about it for now. Big brother Feng, you and Yen can arrange the accommodation for the Dragon League army. There are close to 70,000 people in total. Just arrange them in the camp." 70,000 people? Feng Jixing was stunned. "Where did you find so many people? Strictly speaking, they are not people. Each of them is a god." Situ Shue's mouth opened in shock. 70,000 godly state experts? Yes. Lin Muyu nodded and smiled. "If I don't have this trump card, how can I fight against Yang Shang's Immortal Realm army?" Feng Jixing was excited. With this Immortal Realm army, the Empire will really have the confidence. "When I am not around, Big Brother Feng will be in charge of this army," Lin Muyu said. Feng Jixing was stunned. He could sense the strength of the Dragon League army. A small half of them were probably stronger than Feng Jixing. What right did he have to lead them? Lin Muyu knew what Feng Jixing was thinking. She raised her hand and said, "Army leaders, come over." Immediately, the 4 army leaders of the Dragon League floated over. Feng Zhanlin, Nangong Lai, Zhulong, and Murong Tianqing greeted respectfully, "Greetings, Lin General, please instruct us." All 4 of them were great perfection celestial the arch experts. Feng Jixing did not speak. His eyes were filled with a deep light. These people were not easy to deal with. Lin Muyu waved her hand and said, "Let me introduce him. He is the commander of the Imperial Guards, Feng Jixing. He is my big brother and the person with the highest military authority in the Shattered Cauldron realm." From now on, when I am not around, all of you will listen to Feng Jixing's orders. Understood? The four of them nodded in unison. Greetings, General Feng. Feng Jixing was a little overwhelmed by the favor. Ayu, do you really think that I can control these incredible people? Of course. Lin Muyu smiled. Big Brother Feng, you are much more familiar with the Shattered Cauldron Realm and the Celestial Pole Continent than them. You are also better at war and strategizing than them. You don't have to decline. As she spoke, Lin Muyu said to everyone, from now on, Feng Jixing will be the deputy commander of the Dragon League army. He will have the same authority as me. Understood? Yes. Although Zhulong, Nangong Lai, Feng Zhanlin, and the others were arrogant, they knew that Lin Muyu had two brothers. One was the Seven Luminaries Demon Emperor, and the other was Feng Jixing. Although Feng Jixing's strength was average, he was definitely outstanding. You said you are leaving? Feng Jixing finally understood something from Lin Muyu's words. Yes, I will leave after arranging everything in Lanyan City. Like I said before, I have been away from home for too long. I have not been filial to my father all these years. Now that I have gained insight into the reincarnation cycle and can travel through the largest dimensional space, it is time for me to go home and see my father and brother. Okay, I support you on this. But you have to come back as soon as possible. The Shattered Cauldron Realm is still a mess. Got it. At this moment, Feng Jixing gave Qin Yan, Situ Sen, Wei Chou, and the others a look. Everyone immediately walked to Qin Yin and knelt on one knee in unison. Greetings, Your Highness Yin, greetings, Princess Shi. General Feng, please rise. You may rise. Qin Yin had a gentle expression and smiled. Long time no see. How is everyone? We can eat and drink. Zhang Wei smiled. Everyone smiled as well. Feng Jixing walked forward with a burning gaze and said, Your Highness Yin, since you have returned, then I will bring Your Highness to see someone. It is time. Oh. Qin Yin was surprised. Chapter 1084. In the middle of the night, there was a cold dew. Huge stone tablets were erected in the wilderness, forming a forest. Under the bright moonlight, the first row of stone tablets was engraved with names. According to the order, the first one was Lin Muyu, followed by Chu Huaying, Qin Lei, Lei Hong, and the others. Lin Muyu stopped her horse and looked at her name on the nation-guarding monument. She couldn't help but feel nostalgic. It's been so many years. Qin Yin said faintly. Yes, it's been so many years. We've all persevered. Lin Muyu nodded. Brother Yu, do you regret it? Qin Yin asked. Lin Muyu smiled faintly and said in a self-deprecating manner, I only regret that I didn't tell my father about my feelings for you before he passed away. This will leave me with eternal regret. Why? Qin Yin was confused. What was I then? Lin Muyu continued to urge her horse forward, You're the only heir to the empire, and I'm just a mere royal guard. I have no backing, and my own strength is only average. I don't even know if I can survive the turbulent times, so how could I possibly bring up the matter with you to my father? I think, he wouldn't agree to it then, right? Maybe. Qin Yin's eyes glowed faintly. Or maybe he would. We don't understand him. Let's go. We're almost there. Okay. Lin Muyu and Qin Yin walked in front. Tang Xiaoxi, Ouyang Yan, Chu Yao, Wei Chou, Feng Jixing, and the others followed closely behind. The history of the empire over the past 12 years was recorded here. Everyone's youth seemed to be deeply imprinted here. They couldn't be erased or forgotten. A few rays of light shone from the stone forest in front of them. It was the people who stayed behind to guard the nation-guarding monument. A group of royal guards knelt on both sides of the road. Lin Muyu gestured for them to keep quiet and led Qin Yin and the others to the huts. The huts were simple and even leaky. It was fine in spring, summer, and autumn. Once winter came, the cold wind would be enough to kill the people in the huts. Outside the huts, a young man was carving a piece of wood with a knife. It was probably used to fill the gaps in the huts. He was so focused on carving that he didn't notice the arrival of Lin Muyu and the others. Qin Huan. Tang Xiaoxi recognized him. Qin Huan raised his head abruptly, his face full of astonishment. He saw the people he had seen many years ago, and he even saw his cousin Qin Yin. Is that Xiao Yin? Qin Huan was nearly 40 years old and looked old, but Qin Yin still looked like a young girl in her 20s. The moment Qin Huan saw Qin Yin, he actually recalled the appearance of the time when they played together in their youth. However, Qin Yin's appearance remained in that era, while he himself had been weathered by the passage of time into this miserable and weathered appearance. "It's me, cousin." Qin Yin glanced at him and said, "Is second uncle inside?" "Yes, yes." Qin Huan hurriedly said loudly, "Father." "No, father, Her Highness Xiao Yin is here." Cough, cough, cough. Accompanied by violent coughing, an old figure walked out with a pine crutch. His hair was disheveled, and he was frighteningly old. Who else could it be but Qin Yi? Under the moonlight, Qin Yi saw Qin Yin and seemed to see the past. "Xiao Yin." His voice was very obscure. "Second uncle." Qin Yin's gaze was calm as she said, "You're finally back." "Xiao Yin, Qin Yin looked around, including the faint rancid smell coming from the rice pot. She frowned and said, "Someone come. Your subordinate is here." "Your Highness, please give me your orders." Wei Chou cupped his fists. "From now on, the food here will be the standard of a second-rank marquis. Send someone to renovate the house. At least it should be livable." "Yes." Qin Yin glanced at Qin Yi again and said, "He's sick. Sister Chu Yao, send a doctor from the spiritual medicine department to treat him." Chu Yao nodded, but she didn't treat Qin Yi herself. After all, Chu Huayin's death was directly related to Qin Yi. Chu Yao's hatred couldn't be dispelled just like that. "Xiao Yin." Qin Yi knelt down, tears streaming down his old face. Qin Yi knelt down with tears streaming down his face. He prostrated himself in the dirty soil and wailed, "Second uncle was wrong, second uncle was really wrong. Every day and every night, I dream of my brother, he smiles at me, he always smiles at me. I was blinded by power, I was wrong. I regret everything I've done. Xiao Yin, give the order to kill me, I should have died long ago. Second uncle, you killed the emperor and stole the throne. You should be killed, but I'm a junior. I can't kill you." Qin Yin pointed into the distance and said, "Father's grave is over there. I won't kill you, but you have to stay here with him until you die. This is the atonement you should do." As she spoke, her beautiful eyes became misty as she said, "Father was so good to you, just like how he was to me. He was our relative, yet you killed him. This crime cannot be forgiven for the rest of your life. You can stay here." Qin Yi's body trembled. He buried his face in the soil and wailed. Lin Muyu looked at him coldly and said, "Xiao Yin, let's go." "Okay." When everyone was about to leave, Qin Huan knelt on the ground and said with a sobbing tone, "Xiao Yin, what about me? Am I going to die here?" Qin Yin didn't turn around. "Yes, cousin." Qin Huan's face was pale. "What did I do wrong? Why do I have to wait for death here? What did I do wrong? Don't you know what you've done?" Qin Yin turned around and looked at him coldly. "During the Yihan nation's chaos, how many loyal people did you kill? How many people did you kill? After that, how many soldiers did you kill? You know it very well, don't you?" "But Qin Huan's body trembled. Tears flowed from his eyes as he cried, "But I've repented. I've really repented. I know what I've done. I've received the punishment I deserve these days. Isn't that enough? Forgive me, Xiao Yin. Forgive me. Qin Yin's gentle gaze was filled with pity. If repentance means you must be forgiven, then what's the use of the country's laws? I'm already forgiving you by not killing you. Cousin, you're on your own now. Qin Huan wailed and fell to the ground. Lin Muyu's gaze was as sharp as a sword. Imperial guards, watch him. If Qin Huan dares to cry again, kill him. Yes, Marshal. Everyone drew their swords. Qin Huan was so frightened that he could only whimper. Under the moonlight, Feng Jixing asked with a smile, why don't you let him cry? He's already very pitiful. There must be something hateful about a pitiful person. Lin Muyu said, he actually cried like this to gain Xiao Yin's sympathy. He knows that Xiao Yin is kind-hearted, but he still wants to use it to put on an act in front of me. The fact that I didn't kill him shows that I'm kind-hearted. Oh, you're really kind-hearted. Tang Xiaoxi giggled. Qin Yin was amused as well. In the darkness of the night, a huge tomb stood majestically in the middle of the forest of guardian monuments. It was the tomb of the late emperor, Qin Jin. A group of royal guards surrounded the area with torches in their hands while Qin Yin, Lin Muyu, Tang Xiaoxi, and the others dismounted from their horses and knelt in front of the tomb in order. There was a line of words on the tombstone. Tomb of the Radiant Emperor, Qin Jin. Qin Jin reigned for 27 years. He pacified the 4 provinces in the south, attacked the desert in the north, and built the Demon Suppression Pass in the west. He could be considered a wise ruler. Unfortunately, the chaos of Iha country had wiped out almost all his merits. Imperial father, Xiao Yin is back. I'm back too. Qin Yin and Lin Muyu said one after another. After Feng Jixing kowtowed, he got up and approached the tombstone. Some things can't be delayed for too long. Your Majesty, I should inform you about Her Highness and Yu's marriage. Ouyang Yan asked, why? Are you going to be a matchmaker? Feng Jixing touched his nose. Not necessarily. The emperor is not anxious, but the eunuch is. Ouyang Yan giggled. At this time, Qin Yin blushed and said softly, Imperial father, Xiao Yin likes brother Yu and will marry brother Yu in the future. So today, I will tell Imperial father. I hope that Imperial Father's spirit in heaven can bless us. Lin Muyu pulled out the Xianyuan sword and held it in front of her. She knelt on one knee and said in a low voice, Your Majesty, I will love and protect Xiao Yin forever. If I break this promise, may the heavens and earth destroy me. Your Majesty, please rest assured and hand Xiao Yin over to me. Wei Chou was stunned. Is this considered a marriage? Chu Yao glanced at Tang Xiaoxi beside her and said, My heart aches for Xiao Shi. Tang Xiaoxi pouted. Lin Muyu coughed and said, In addition, Your Majesty, I may take one more concubine, but no more. Damn. Feng Jixing almost pointed his middle finger at her. How could she do this? Wei Chou said, Please understand, Your Majesty. After all, Lin General is the Emperor of Gods, one of the rulers of the divine realm. It is very rare for him to marry 2 concubines. Everyone, Lin Muyu stayed in Lanyan City for 3 days and helped Qin Yin deal with various things related to the Congress. Now the members of the Congress were talents selected from all over the country. Basically, all the matters of the country were decided by the Congress, so the responsibility of the Emperor was much smaller. The only thing that was not given to the Congress was the military power. But once Lin Muyu and the others really ascended and never came back, the military power was given to the Congress to control the normal operation of the empire. On the 4th day, the Wheel of Time was facing the southeast direction, which was where the earth was. Now, Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and Tang Xiaoxi were all perfected divine emperors. Their bodies could withstand the impact of the time quicksand and fly to the position of the Earth. After a discussion, they decided to add Gomang to the group to help Lin Muyu find the location of the Gong Gong Navy. After all, Gomang was calm and gentle, so it was much safer than bringing along the other three ancestors of sorcery. At noon, a few rays of golden light spread in the Zetian Palace. Lin Muyu and the others had already disappeared, entering the speed of the flowing light shuttling. The time quicksand kept attacking her body. Lin Muyu forced her eyes open and looked at the scene in front of her. She couldn't help but jump with joy in the depths of her heart. She had waited for this day for too long. After 12 years away from home, she was finally going home. The time dimension of the Earth and the Shattered Cauldron Realm were different. 12 years in the Shattered Cauldron Realm was equivalent to 4 years on Earth. So, after 4 years, would her father and brother be fine? She looked around and saw Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi squinting their beautiful eyes. She wondered how happy her father would be to bring these two beautiful wives home. Chapter 1085. Earth, China, Magic City, Shanghai. Night fell, and the lanterns were lit. At night, Shanghai was full of neon lights and heavy traffic. The bright long streets weaved the city into squares, and even the Pearl Tower in the night sky could be seen from afar. It had not been seen for many years, but it was still so bright and moving. The night breeze blew gently. It was autumn. In the pitch-black sky, several figures slowly shuttled out of the dimensional space. The golden light on their bodies slowly dissipated, and their figures also disappeared into the night. It was impossible to see them with the naked eye. The night breeze blew her cloak gently. Lin Muyu's clear eyes looked at the bustling city, and she could not help but feel excited. Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi opened their beautiful eyes wide. This city was far more prosperous than Lanyan City, and the cars running on the road were much better looking than the steam-powered cars in Lanyan City. "Brother Yu, is this your hometown?" Qin Yin blinked. "Yes, this is my home." Lin Muyu looked at the city longingly. It had been 12 years since she last saw it, but it was still as peaceful and prosperous as before. Beside her, Gomang took a deep breath. After leaving the great realm of desolation for so many years, this place has changed a lot. I did not expect it to become like this. Yes, the battles here are no less than those in the Shattered Cauldron Realm. Lin Muyu looked disdainfully at the earth and said, "Let's go, I will take you home." "My home is in a villa in the suburbs. It's the weekend now, so Dad and brother should be staying there." "Mu, what about your mother?" Tang Xiaoxi said, "You have never mentioned her." Lin Muyu was stunned and said, "Mom passed away when I was very young. It was Dad who raised me and brother alone." "Oh, I'm sorry." "It's okay, it was a long time ago." Lin Muyu turned and flew into the distance. Qin Yin, Tang Xiaoxi, and Gomang also quickly followed. Lin Muyu's house was not far away. Near the suburbs, there was a group of buildings that looked like giants that stretched for nearly 5 miles. That was the location of the Long Xian group, and also where Lin Muyu's family business was located. It was the foundation that her father, Lin Shun, had worked hard for many years to build, and her home was in a villa less than 5 miles away from the Long Xian group. The cool autumn breeze blew into the hall. There were a few dim lights in this castle-like villa, and the sound of cooking came from the kitchen. On the sofa in the living room, a young man was lying there with a magazine in his hand. His appearance was somewhat similar to Lin Muyu's. He frowned and muttered to himself, "Is Li Xiaoyao really going to stay at the top of the CBN rankings? It's been almost half a year, and I still haven't seen Fang Guke surpass him. There's really no justice in this world." At this moment, a middle-aged man walked out from the room next door. He seemed to be in good spirits, but there was a hint of fatigue on his slightly aged face. "Lin Yen." "Dad, what's wrong?" Lin Yen turned around. Lin Shun glanced at the magazine in his hand and said, "Are you still planning to switch from Conquer to Destiny?" "Yes." Lin Yan's face was filled with excitement as he said, "My guild is ranked number 1 in Conquer, and we also have number 1 in terms of numbers. As long as I make a call, I can take at least half of them with me. Just these elites alone are enough to fight for a place in Destiny. I heard that in a month, Destiny will release a new patch. All players' levels will return to 0, and their original strength will be included in the training experience system. It's a great opportunity for us to enter Destiny. What do you think, Dad?" Lin Shun sat on the sofa, rubbed his temples, and said, "You're not young anymore, but you're still addicted to games." "Heh," Lin Yan laughed, "aren't I also helping you with the Long Xian group's matters? How can you say that I'm addicted to games? That 3 days of fishing, 2 days of drying nets is considered taking care of things?" Lin Shun sighed, and looked out the window with a deep gaze. "I wonder how your brother is doing. Last time, Li Xiaoyao said that he seemed to have seen him, but he wasn't sure. We've been trying our best to find him for 4 years, but we still couldn't find him. If he was still here, there would be someone to help me take care of the Long Xian group." "Dad." Lin Yan frowned. "I know you miss Xiaoji, but we don't even know where he is right now, whether he's dead or alive. You'll damage your body if you keep thinking about him every day." Sigh, Lin Shun sighed again. "Xiaoji works much harder than you, and he's also more talented than you. You're not willing to inherit the Long Xian group, but he's probably willing." Lin Yan put down the magazine and smiled helplessly. "Fine, fine, fine. When Xiaoji really comes back, he and I will help you take care of the company. That should be fine, right?" Lin Shun didn't say anything. He just looked at the photo frame on the table. It was a photo of Lin Yan and Lin Ji, the 2 brothers, when they were children. All these years, Lin Shun had devoted almost all of his efforts to Lin Ji, but now that Lin Ji had been missing for 4 years, he felt lost every time he thought about it. Holding the cup of water that was gradually cooling in his hand, Lin Shun's voice was extremely soft. "If I can exchange it for Xiaoji coming back safe and sound, I'm willing to die, Dad." Lin Yan's eyes reddened. "Don't say it. The more I think about it, the more sad I feel. I also want Xiaoji to come back early, but there's nothing we can do. We can only wait like this." The father and son fell into silence. A few dozen meters in the sky outside the window, a few black shadows gradually appeared. Lin Muyu's ears and eyes were sharp, and he heard everything clearly. He couldn't help but feel sour in his heart. After being away from home for so many years, he also missed home. However, he couldn't help but fall into the quagmire of the Shattered Cauldron realm. Now, he was finally back. Qin Yin's pair of beautiful eyes looked at the father and son in the living room behind the glass. She was slightly touched, and her beautiful eyes were covered with a thin layer of mist. She said, "Big brother, you, quickly go back. Don't let them wait bitterly for you anymore." Tang Xiaoxi also pushed Lin Muyu's arm and said, "I will wait for you here with Xiao Yin. When the time is right, we will go in." "Okay. Wait for a while. I will come to pick you up immediately." "Okay." Rustle, the wind blew the fallen leaves on the spacious second-floor balcony of the villa. Lin Muyu landed along with the fallen leaves. He walked on the wooden planks and walked to the living room on the second floor. The huge floor-to-ceiling windows reflected the light, as well as the figures of his father and brother. Lin Muyu gently raised his hand, but then hesitated. At times like this, people would always have an indescribable feeling of uneasiness. In the end, his palm landed and gently tapped on the window. Clang, clang, what's that sound? Lin Shun raised his head. It sounds like the sound outside the floor-to-ceiling windows. It's probably a stray cat. Recently, there have been a few stray cats walking around our balcony. Lin Yan continued to pick up the magazine. However, the sound of knocking on the window sounded again, and it was very rhythmic. "Someone's here," Lin Shun said. Lin Yan immediately stood up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows with a frown. He opened the curtains and saw a figure through the glass. He couldn't help but be stunned. It was a young man wearing armor and a cloak. His handsome face seemed familiar, and he was smiling at him through the glass. After a few seconds, Lin Yan's whole body trembled. He suddenly opened the door and hugged Lin Muyu. He laughed excitedly and said, "Xiaoji, is it you? It must be you, right?" Lin Muyu hugged her brother back. "Brother, I'm back." At this time, Lin Shun said in a trembling voice, "Xiaoji, are you Xiaoji?" This call made Lin Muyu's whole body tremble. Her heart was filled with mixed feelings. Tears swirled in her eyes, and she was almost crying. Her father hadn't seen her for 4 years, but she hadn't seen her father for as long as 12 years. Moreover, in these short 4 years, her father had aged a lot. He was no longer the chairman of the Long Xian group in the prime of his life. Taking a step forward and looking at her father's face, Lin Muyu didn't know what to do. She couldn't help but kneel on the ground on one knee. Unknowingly, she gave an imperial military salute and said in a trembling voice, "Dad, I'm sorry. I came back late." "Xiaoji, it's really Xiaoji." Lin Shun quickly knelt on the ground and helped Lin Muyu up. Looking at his son's appearance that hadn't changed at all, he said, "Xiaoji, where have you been all these years?" The dignified chairman of the Long Xian group, a business giant with a net worth of tens of billions, was now in tears. Lin Muyu hurriedly helped her father up. Her nose turned sour, and her tears also fell. She said, "Dad, I'm back now, aren't I? I've been living in another world all these years and didn't have the ability to come back to see you. I can finally come back now. It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back." Lin Shun was helped back to the sofa by Lin Muyu, but he still couldn't calm down. He said, "Xiaoji, why are you dressed like this?" Lin Yan also laughed and patted Lin Muyu's shoulder. "That's right, you're dressed like a general. Which world are these clothes from?" "Io, there are barbs on your shoulder armor. They're stabbing me." "Brother, be careful." Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh. "Do you still remember the game Conquer?" "Of course, I'm still playing it now. Conquer is a game designed based on another world, and I've lived in that world for many years. It's a long story, and it's too deep to explain. Let's talk about it next time." Lin Muyu looked out the window and said, "Dad, I didn't come back alone this time. I brought 3 companions with me." "Oh? Where?" Lin Shun asked. "They're outside the window. Quick, let them in." Okay." Lin Muyu opened the floor-to-ceiling window. Lin Shun and Lin Yan also walked out. Lin Muyu shouted softly to the sky, "Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, Gomang, come down." 3 figures slowly descended from the sky. Although the light on the balcony was dim, it was enough to make out the appearance of Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi. They had a style that was different from the local girls. They were incomparably beautiful. Lin Yan was stunned. He couldn't help but pat Lin Muyu again. F***ck, they actually flew down. Are they fairies? Brat, you're good. Io, your broken shoulder armor pricked me again. I'm bleeding. I told you to be careful. Lin Muyu said cheerfully, "Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, come and meet my father, Lin Shun." Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi took a step forward at the same time. Their faces were slightly red. It was like a daughter-in-law meeting their parents. The 2 of them bowed in unison. "Greetings, uncle." They were using the etiquette of the Empire's ladies. It was an etiquette that had long been abolished in modern times. However, it was gentle and generous. It had a unique flavor. Lin Shun was instantly overjoyed. At least he didn't have to worry about his grandson anymore. For a moment, the way Lin Shun looked at Lin Muyu changed. This kid was promising. He was much more promising than his brother. Although Lin Yen would also bring girls home, they would always stay for one night and then never see them again. Lin Shun couldn't remember how many girls there were throughout the year. Sometimes, he really wanted to beat him to death. Chapter 1086. Let's go inside, it's cold outside. After a while, Lin Shun reminded them. Lin Muyu also said, okay, let's go inside. Everyone walked into the living room together. Lin Muyu arranged for Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi to sit on the sofa next to her, while Gomang casually wrapped himself in a robe and sat on the other sofa. Lin Yen kept staring at Gomang and said, this friend's clothes are really unique. Why does it have fur on it? Because he's a bird, Lin Muyu said. Huh, Xiaoji, don't try to fool me. Lin Muyu raised an eyebrow and said, Gomang, show my brother. Yes. Gomang floated up and gently waved his palm. Suddenly, the roar of a dragon and a tiger could be heard. A white dragon quickly hovered in the living room, its beard swaying, its eyes fixed on Lin Yen. F***ck, what is this? Lin Yen was so scared that he fell onto the sofa. His face was pale, and he desperately kicked his feet as if he wanted to sink his body into the sofa. All right. Lin Muyu waved her hand. You scared my brother, Gomang laughed, kept the white dragon, and sat down again. Lin Yen stood up silently and walked to the bathroom. Brother, what's wrong? Lin Yen stopped and said, I think I might need to change my pants. I was so scared just now that I peed my pants. Pfft, Tang Xiaoxi and Qin Yin laughed together. Lin Shun was much calmer. He said, Xiaoji, what happened to you all these years? Tell me about it. Yes. Lin Muyu nodded lightly and said, the world I'm in is called the Shattered Cauldron Realm. The time dimension is 4 times that of Earth. In other words, I've actually been in the Shattered Cauldron Realm for 12 years. The elemental laws of that world are completely different from Earth's. It's suitable for deriving martial souls and cultivating. In other words, it's possible to cultivate to become a god there. The Shattered Cauldron Realm is extremely far from Earth. Lin Shun frowned. Strong enough? What do you mean? The Great Perfection God Emperor Realm is at the top of the gods. Lin Muyu said sincerely, it is very strong, very strong. Lin Shun took a deep breath and was slightly unable to accept it. He said, very strong to what extent? Lin Muyu pondered for a few seconds and said, powerful enough to destroy Earth in minutes. What? Lin Shun was shocked. Xiaoji, did you experience too much in the other world that caused your mind to become abnormal? I mean, it's impossible for anyone to destroy Earth in minutes. Lin Muyu smiled and held Lin Shun's arm. Dad, I'm just saying. I'm not really going to destroy Earth. This is my home. How could I do such a thing? Besides, I can't prove it to you. Anyway. I'm indeed different from before, but I'm still Lin Ji. That hasn't changed. What did you say? Destroy Earth in minutes? Lin Shun changed his pants and walked out. He was much more receptive now. He said, I believe this. Now, I believe whatever Xiaoji says. Lin Muyu nodded and smiled. Yes, that's about it. Brother, I've been away all these years. You've been the only one taking care of Dad. It's been hard on you. It's nothing. It's my job. Lin Yen sat back on the sofa. Lin Shun was speechless. I'm the one taking care of him. He's already an adult, but he's still addicted to games and doesn't want to improve himself. Fortunately, Xiaoji, you're back. I'll be more at ease with you taking care of the company. Lin Muyu was startled. Dad, I won't be staying on Earth for long this time. Why? Lin Shun's face was full of displeasure. Because the matter in Shattered Cauldron World hasn't been settled. After I finish my responsibilities there, I'll come back to Earth to accompany you. Lin Shun frowned. After a while, he said, this is your home. Do you remember? You've been away for so many years without any news. I'm not going to scold you, but now that you're back, you're leaving again. Lin Muyu had mixed feelings. She felt very apologetic. She said in a low voice, Dad, I won't be leaving for long. This time, I'll be back very soon. I'll be back in a year at most. I'll be cultivating in the immortal realm. I can also help you and brother achieve immortality. I don't want immortality. I just want our family to be together and not be separated, Lin Shun said stubbornly. Qin Yin pursed her red lips. She wanted to say something but stopped. After a few seconds, she said, Big brother you, since uncle has said so. Then let's stay here for a while. Anyway, the Dragon League is guarding Shattered Cauldron World. Nothing big will happen, see, Xiao Yin is much more sensible than you, Lin Shun said. Qin Yin secretly smiled at Lin Muyu with a faint apology. Lin Muyu was speechless. Lin Shun continued, since Xiao Yin has said so, then you guys can stay here for a year. The clothes from your world can't be worn here. Tomorrow, you and your brother can bring Xiao Yin and Xiao Shi to buy more clothes. There are many rooms in the house, so you can stay here. A year? Lin Muyu quickly shook her head. A year on Earth is 4 years in Shattered Cauldron World. By the time we return in 4 years, I'm afraid it'll be too late. But this is your home. Staying here is what you should do. Lin Shun's tone was much tougher. After so many years, it was still the same. The temper of this director of the Long Xin group had not improved. Lin Muyu was already used to it. She discussed and said, Dad, 1 month. We have to leave after staying here for a month. Otherwise, it'll be too late. Lin Yen said, Dad, since Xiaoji has compromised, then 1 month it is. It's better than leaving immediately, right? Lin Shun frowned. 1 month it is. You have to promise to eat at home every night. You're not allowed to stay outside. There's a curfew at night, and you're not allowed to fly down from the skylight. Lin Muyu did not know whether to laugh or cry. Her dad was still using the old ways to restrict her. However, she felt warm. She nodded and said, Okay, I'll listen to you. That's good. Lin Shun beamed. Lin Yen, call assistant Luo later. Tell her that I'll be home for dinner every night for a month. Ask her to cancel all my evening social engagements. Okay. Lin Yen nodded happily. However, he secretly put his hand on Lin Muyu's shoulder and said, Cultivating to become an immortal will make your brother immortal. Is this true? Ouch, your armor is poking me again. Brat, go to your room and change your clothes. If you keep wearing this, I'll go crazy. Lin Muyu could not help but laugh. I know. I'll change. Is there any girls' clothes at home? Xiao Yin and Xiao Shi should change too. No. Lin Yen shook his head. Okay, I'll take them to buy clothes later. Okay, I'll go with you. I'm familiar with Meiluo. You weren't familiar with it before, right? Who said that? Recently, my girlfriends often go to Meiluo. I'm very familiar with it. Brother, I have to give you a piece of advice. Huh? If you indulge yourself too much, even if I refine the best elixir for you, I'm afraid you can't be immortal. I know. I'll try my best. After the family finished dinner, Gomang flew to the sky to revisit this land, so there was no need to care about him. Lin Muyu changed out of her Chi-Yu armor and found her clothes from 4 years ago in her closet. However, she found that they were all famous brands like Versace, Armani, and Givenchy. She could not help but smile bitterly. She chose the most standard set of clothes, a shirt, a casual tie, and a casual suit. Although it was much more comfortable to wear, it still felt like she was floating and not steady enough. However, when Lin Muyu walked out of the room, Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi's eyes lit up. This was Lin Muyu with a different style. "Big brother you, did you wear this in the past?" Qin Yin asked with a smile. "Yes, how is it?" "Good." Lin Muyu chuckled, "Let's go, I'll take you two downstairs to buy clothes. People will think you're cosplayers if you dress like this." The two girls were at a loss for words. After going downstairs, Lin Yen was already waiting. After pressing the remote, two beautiful cars immediately appeared in front of them. Lin Yen said excitedly, "These are the two new cars I bought. The white one is a Porsche Coupe, and the red one is the latest Ferrari. It has a lot of horsepower, and the roar of the engine is very powerful. Choose one." Lin Muyu pointed at the Porsche and said, "This one is mine. The Ferrari's color is too flashy. It doesn't suit me." "Yo, brat, why isn't your sapphire blue Lamborghini flamboyant? Now that you mention it, where's my Lamborghini? I sold it as a used car." Lin Yen shrugged, "You haven't been back for so long that it's almost rusted. I'm afraid it'll only be sold as an antique in a few years. I'm doing this out of consideration for you." Lin Muyu pointed at him angrily, "Just you wait, you owe me a sports car." Lin Yen laughed, "It's fine. I'll buy you 10 Lamborghinis if you want them." As he said that, Lin Yen started the Ferrari and the engine roared loudly. He whistled and asked with a smile, "Sisters-in-law, who wants to go for a ride with me?" Qin Yin smiled, "Big brother, you can go by yourself. Xiao Shi and I will follow you." "Humph," Lin Yen said angrily, "I knew it." Lin Muyu got into the car and arranged for Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi to sit down. She even helped Qin Yin fasten the seatbelt because Qin Yin didn't know how to do it. Soon, the two sports cars sped out of the villa area and went straight to the street. The neon lights flashed on both sides as Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi widened their beautiful eyes and were stunned. "How is it? Is it beautiful?" Lin Muyu asked with a smile. Qin Yin nodded and said happily, "I like it here." Tang Xiaoxi clung to the front seat and said with a smile, "I like it here too, Mu. When we unify the Shattered Cauldron world in the future, let's stay here for a long time, okay?" "Okay." Lin Muyu smiled, "In this world, as long as you have money and power, this is heaven. When you see the women's clothing here, you'll like it even more." "Oh?" The two girls were at a loss, but Lin Muyu was very confident. No girl could resist the temptation of beautiful clothes, and Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi were no exception. Chapter 1087. The mall was very lively at night. Just as Lin Muyu had expected, Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi's outfits attracted the attention of the crowd. Even though the two of them weren't wearing empress or princess costumes, they were still wearing Lanyan City's flowing cloud full-length dresses. Coupled with their beautiful figures and looks, many people had already picked up their phones to take photos of them. What are they holding in their hands? Qin Yin was surprised and did not know what to do. Cell phones. Lin Yen was stunned. These two girls really came from another world. Lin Muyu could have destroyed all these cell phones with the control of her domain, but she thought it would be too overbearing and had no choice but to give up. Fortunately, her savior appeared in front of her. In the first women's clothing store, she hurriedly led Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi into it as if she was escaping. Lin Yen stood guard outside the door, raised his eyebrows, and said, "What are you taking photos for? Haven't you seen beautiful women before?" This hedonistic son of a rich family was quite imposing, and he scared the group of young people who were holding cell phones and left resentfully. As soon as they entered the store, Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi were dazzled. Everything here was novel to them. The beautiful matching styles of the clothes were not available in Lanyan City or even the entire celestial realm. They couldn't help but sigh with emotion at the creativity of humans. These designers really knew how to express the beauty of women. Several female employees were also dumbfounded. The sudden arrival of two beauties who could cause the downfall of a nation, coupled with two handsome men, made the entire store feel as if their presence had brought light to their humble dwelling. At this moment, Qin Yin was standing in front of a set of underwear and a small windbreaker. Her beautiful eyes were full of love. Lin Muyu chuckled and asked, "Do you like it?" "Yes, then try it on and buy it if you like it." "Let's go, I'll bring you to the fitting room." "It's over there." "Okay." Qin Yin was a little cautious. After all, it was her first time coming to such a place. Tang Xiaoxi, who was not far away, was also quite mischievous. After sending Qin Yin to the fitting room, Lin Muyu also took a set for Tang Xiaoxi. Not long after, the two girls walked out of the shop, and they gave everyone a new feeling. Even the shop assistant couldn't help but exclaim, "So beautiful." "So beautiful." Lin Yan rubbed his nose and nudged his brother's shoulder. "Xiao Ji, where did you meet these two beauties? Who are they?" "Brother, you want to find out about their background?" "Yes." Xiao Yin is the queen of the Shattered Cauldron Realm continent, while Xiao Shi is a princess. Both of them are above everyone else. "What?" Lin Yan turned pale with fright. F***ck, you're not lying to your brother, are you? "Why would I lie to you?" Lin Yan narrowed his eyes. "Then, Xiao Ji, what have you been doing in the alternate world for so many years?" Lin Muyu was silent for a few seconds. "Why, you don't want to tell me?" "Actually, you can tell me, but you can't tell Dad." "Huh, tell me, tell me. Don't you trust your brother?" "Yes." Lin Muyu nodded and said in a low voice, "I've been leading troops to war for so many years in the Shattered Cauldron Realm. Simply put, my job is to kill." Lin Yan shuddered. For a moment, he couldn't come back to his senses. He had a look of disbelief on his face. Lin Muyu didn't want him to believe her either. She turned around and continued to serve Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi. This Shirley women's clothing store had many beautiful designs that were very suitable for beautiful and elegant girls like Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi. In fact, as long as one had a beautiful face and a good figure, they would look good in anything. This was without a doubt. Very quickly, Qin Yin took a fancy to a beige windbreaker. The price had already soared to more than 15,000. She seemed to understand the significance of these numbers. With a hopeful look in her eyes, she asked in a low voice, "Big brother you, can I buy this?" Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh. "Shop assistant, wrap this up too." "Yes, handsome." The beautiful shop assistant was overjoyed today. The first order of the night was so big, and the customers were also handsome and beautiful. For a moment, her mood was infinitely good. In the end, Tang Xiaoxi bought 3 sets, and so did Qin Yin. The total price was more than 70,000. At the cashier, Lin Muyu curled her lips. "Brother, come here." "What are you doing, brat?" "Swipe my card." "What else can I ask you to do?" Lin Yan was stunned. "Why do you want me to swipe my card? Didn't Dad give you a card before we left?" He gave me a card?" "Yes, that diamond card. There's more than 50 million in it. It's enough for you to spend. Don't tell me you left it in the car." Lin Muyu was stunned and almost forgot about it. Qin Yin, who was next to her, held a card and said, "Big brother you, is this what Big brother is talking about? You put it in my place." Oh, that's great. Lin Muyu instantly felt very rich. Lin Yen was speechless. The password is your birthday. Swipe it yourself. Moreover, this card is connected to Dad's card. Even if you swipe it all, you can still borrow it from Dad. But I don't think it's 50 million, unless you want to buy a yacht. Tell your brother, don't tell me you want to buy a yacht. It's not impossible. Lin Muyu smiled. Maybe if I'm in a good mood, I'll take Xiao Yin and Xiao Xi out to sea on a yacht. Prodigal, you really haven't changed. As they spoke, Lin Muyu had already swiped the card. Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi had already changed into a new set of clothes. Although they were still eye-catching, at least no one would take out their phones to take pictures. After sending the clothes back to the car, Lin Muyu was thinking about the Gong Gong Water Army and was not in the mood to shop. However, Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi seemed to want more. They really wanted to know more about the world that Lin Muyu grew up in. Lin Yen was considerate. He closed the car door and said with a smile, "Xiaoji, don't go back so early. Dad is watching an archaeology documentary. Let's not go back and disturb him. Why don't we go and watch a movie? The theater is not far away. Recently, Yuan 4 is showing. It's worth watching." "Oh, let's watch it then." Lin Muyu nodded. Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi cheered. Naturally, they knew that there was something fun to watch. JY Cinema. After buying the tickets, they had to wait 20 minutes before the screening started. Thus, the four of them stood in the hall and waited. The handsome man and beautiful woman naturally attracted the attention of many people. "Isn't that the god of magic, Lin Yen?" Not far away, a student wearing thick glasses said. "Yeah, it really is Lin Yen." Another otaku said. Lin Muyu was speechless. "Brother, it seems like someone recognized you." Lin Yen rubbed his nose, "Can't help it. I'm famous. I can't let go of the burden of being the idol of China's current generation king of gaming." Lin Muyu joked, "But I heard that the first place on the CBN BattleNet is Xiaoyao Zizai, second is Fang Gukei, third is Tsang Tong, fourth is Q Sword, fifth is Dong Cheng, and sixth is you. What kind of king of gaming are you? Stinking brat, how can you talk to your big brother like that?" Lin Yen laughed as he punched Lin Muyu's arm. But it didn't hurt at all. On the contrary, Lin Muyu's body emitted a faint aura that shook Lin Yan's fist. He couldn't help but ask in surprise, "Xiaoji, did your body structure change? How come? It's like your skin is made of copper and your bones are made of iron." Lin Muyu said in a low voice, "It's not just copper and bones. I'm telling you, I'm invulnerable. Why are you panting when I say you're fat?" The quarrel between the two brothers caused Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi to burst into laughter. They finally understood why Lin Muyu was reluctant to leave this family. The feeling of having family was naturally much better than being alone. It was just that it was a pity that Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi had lost almost all their family members. Therefore, behind their smiles, there were endless feelings of nostalgia. At this moment, two fans came over to ask for Lin Yan's autograph. Lin Muyu held Qin Yin's and Tang Xiaoxi's hands and said in a soft voice, "This family will also be your family in the future. The two of you are the future mistresses of this family. You must be filial, understand?" Although this sentence was simple, it made Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi almost cry. They nodded in unison, indicating that they would work hard. Afterward, the two fans wanted to take a photo with Lin Yen, and it was even taken by Lin Muyu. At the same time, the two fans sought Lin Yan's permission to post the photo on Weibo. At this moment, Lin Yen had no idea what the burden of being an idol was. Qin Yin smiled and asked softly, "Is Big Brother very good in the game?" "Good?" Lin Muyu pursed her lips and said, "When I was online, I beat him up even with half my equipment off. Brat, shut up. Don't disgrace your brother's glorious image in front of sister-in-law. Lin Yen turned his head and glared. Lin Muyu laughed and stopped telling the truth. At this moment, the movie was about to start, so the four of them entered the theater together. There weren't many people watching, and not long after, the movie started. As usual, the fighting was intense, the movements were gorgeous, and the emotions were deep. Halfway through the movie, Lin Yen turned his head and asked softly, Xiaoji, you also know martial arts in the alternate world, right? Yes. Lin Muyu nodded. Who do you think is better, you or Yiwen? Lin Yen asked a very penetrating question. Lin Muyu thought for a long time and said, Yiwen is a martial arts master of his generation. He is respected by many, and I admire him very much. What about you? What exactly are you? I am a grandmaster of my generation, pft. Does the alternate world have a school for bragging? Ha ha ha, logically speaking, girls shouldn't be interested in martial arts movies, but Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi weren't ordinary girls. They had learned martial arts since they were young, so they were very familiar with the routines of martial arts. Yiwen also made them feel a little emotional after watching this movie. There was a very fitting saying, if we learn martial arts and don't use it to uphold justice, then what difference is there between us and salted fish? After the movie ended, the two girls continued to ask about the principles of the movie. Lin Muyu explained for a long time, but they still couldn't understand, so she decided to give them a university book on optical physics for them to study. It was already past 10 o'clock when the movie ended. According to Lin Shun's daily routine, he should be asleep by now. It wouldn't be good for them to go back any later than 12 o'clock, since the house was guarded. In the underground parking lot, the four of them hurriedly went to get their cars. In the garage, a strange voice suddenly came from the corner, Yo, I was wondering who it was. So it's young Master Lin. Why, did you bring girls out to play again? TSK, so straight, young Master Lin is really lucky with women. Chapter 1088. Under the light, a bald, scarred man walked out with a baseball bat in his hand. He was wearing an ill-fitting suit, and his face was filled with hostility. Young Master Lin, do you know me? Lin Yen frowned. Who are you? What do you mean? You don't even know who I am? The scarred man sneered. Then you should know Kara, that D-cup chick. She's the one you slept with at Soho Bar 3 days ago. Lin Yen frowned. So what if I know her? It's a consensual thing. Bullsh *T, that's our boss's woman. How dare you sleep with her? The scarred man roared. Brothers, come out. If we don't teach young Master Lin a lesson today, we won't know how powerful the White Dragon Society is. White Dragon Society? Lin Muyu smiled. I've heard of the Black Dragon Gang and the Green Gang, but I've never heard of the White Dragon Gang. Are you all just a bunch of little white dragons? You're so ugly, how could you have the cheek to join us? Who the *CK are you? The bald man said coldly. Just think of me as a bodyguard. TSK, I think you're looking for trouble. The scarred man waved his hand, and a group of people rushed in from the entrance of the parking lot. They were all young people, and each of them had a barrel of oil in their hands. In an instant, the smell of gasoline filled the parking lot. Who are you? What do you want? The old man guarding the parking lot shouted. Get lost, old thing, or I'll beat you to death. A gangster with a knife in his hand shouted. The old man rushed out of the duty room and disappeared like a wisp of smoke. His leg strength was astonishing. What do you want? Lin Yen asked. The bald man laughed. You'll know soon. Brothers, pour the gasoline on that Ferrari. Young Master Lin's car is going to be red hot, right? With that, the bald man took out a lighter and said with a smile, You slept with our boss's woman. Today, I will burn your car and break one of your legs. This is in line with the rules of the underworld, right? Lin Yen clenched his fists and stepped forward, saying, "Take it out on me. Don't burn the car." Yo, young Master Lin knows how to care about money. Didn't you say that you'd buy suhi if you got high? The bald knife-scarred man waved his hand and said, "Pour gasoline on me, go, break one of Lin Yan's legs, take a video and give it to the boss." A group of hooligans quickly rushed over. Lin Yan gritted his teeth. He had trained before, but he could only fight 3 to 5 hooligans. He couldn't fight a large group of hooligans. However, Lin Yan wasn't worried. With Lin Muyu around, no one would dare to bully the Lin family. Lin Muyu also smiled. She took off her casual suit and handed it to Qin Yin. She said softly, "Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, protect the car. My brother and I will take care of these hooligans. Be gentle, don't kill them. Just beat them half to death." Unexpectedly, fighting with hooligans on the first day of returning to Earth was exciting. "Go, kill him," the bald man roared in a stern voice. 3 people with baseball bats rushed up at the same time, and the bats went straight to Lin Muyu's head. They were indeed gangsters, and they didn't know how to control their strength. However, Lin Muyu's speed was so fast that it was indiscernible. His figure flashed by, and he used falling star steps. Bang, 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 he punched 3 times in a row. Each punch landed on the abdomen. It was not fatal, but it directly knocked them out. Good boy. Lin Yen was stunned. Although Lin Muyu's skills were good in the past, they were not so good. How could he know that Lin Muyu did not even use 1/10,000th of his strength? Otherwise, these hooligans would not only be seriously injured, but their bodies would be broken. A group of people surrounded Lin Muyu and Lin Yen, and then they flew out one by one, like swatting flies, and hit the wall. The bald knife-scarred man's face was livid, and soon he knew that he was no match for the young man in front of him. He immediately reached out and waved, and said, "Catch those 2 women, it's the same." More than a dozen hooligans quickly pounced on Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi. However, these 2 peerless beauties were not weak. Qin Yin raised one hand, and the force of the domain rushed out, directly blasting 3 hooligans away. Tang Xiaoxi did not use her divine power either. She flew up and hit one of the hooligans with her knee, directly knocking him out. Then, she caught the barrel of gasoline and carefully placed it. "Don't dirty your clothes, Xiao Shi," Qin Yin said. "Okay." Tang Xiaoxi took a few steps back, opened her palms, and with the demeanor of a grandmaster, she continuously hit the air several times. Immediately, more than a dozen hooligans fell to the ground. In the eyes of the 2 girls, clothes were much more exquisite than these hooligans. Not long after, at least 30 hooligans fell to the ground. The bald knife-scarred man was dumbfounded. He took out a military knife from his waist, and said with a trembling voice, "Don't come over." Lin Muyu floated over, and looked at him coldly. "Who else do you want to break?" "You." "Who are you?" Lin Muyu's gaze was cold. "No matter who I am, go back and tell your boss that my surname is Lin. If you dare to have any ideas about my family again, I will kill your boss." "You, scram." "Okay." The bald knife-scarred man scrambled away, and most of the hooligans on the ground could not get up. They could only moan on the ground. This time, Lin Yen completely believed Lin Muyu's words. This younger brother of his was not bragging. He was indeed no longer an ordinary person. It would not be a problem for him to fight 100 people alone. He was even stronger than Yuan. After returning home, Lin Shun was actually still awake. Originally, Lin Yen did not want to mention what happened in the parking lot, but Lin Muyu directly told him. After understanding the matter, Lin Shun flew into a rage. He first scolded Lin Yen, then sat on the sofa angrily and said, "Tell me, how do you want to deal with this matter? I have heard of this White Dragon gang. Recently, they have been quite fierce in various nightclubs in Shanghai. Whether they are from the underworld or not, they have to give in to them. How did you get into such trouble? Lin Yen was a little helpless. Dad, I didn't know at first. Oh, you're already so old, yet you don't even know how to act properly. Look at your little brother, he's younger than you, but he's much more mature than you. You should learn from little Roar in the future. Lin Yen was embarrassed. Okay, Dad. Lin Muyu said, it is useless to just scold my brother. Dad should think about what will happen next. This White Dragon gang will definitely not let this go. I know. Lin Shun's eyes turned cold, and he said, tomorrow, I will talk to the company's security department and ask them to dispatch 5 people to guard around our residence. This will make it safer. 5 people? Lin Muyu shook her head. 5 people are not enough. The White Dragon gang is ruthless and has no sense of propriety. Lin Shun sighed, but we can only hire some bodyguards who can fight. That is not necessary. Lin Muyu gently rubbed her hands on the teacup, with a faint awe-inspiring look in her eyes, and said, as long as Dad says the word, I can destroy the White Dragon gang in one night. No, you can't do that. Lin Shun's attitude was a little fierce. Why? Lin Muyu was stunned. Lin Shun said, Xiaoji, I don't care what you do in the other world, but this is Shanghai, a place that pays attention to the law. You can't do whatever you want. You are my son, so you must behave. Okay, Lin Muyu sighed softly, in this case, there is no other way. Xiao Yin and Xiao Shi have the ability to protect themselves. The only thing I am worried about is your safety, Dad. From tomorrow on, I will let Gomang stay by your side to protect you. That Gomang. Is he reliable? Lin Yen asked. Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi burst into laughter. Lin Muyu said, let's put it this way. Without my control, Gomang can become the king of the earth within a month, and all countries, including the M nation, will submit to his power. Lin Shun was a little displeased. Can't you act like a normal family? Don't fight and conquer the world at the drop of a hat. Lin Muyu immediately lowered her head. Okay, Dad. Qin Yin smiled faintly. There was finally someone who could control Lin Muyu, a supreme emperor god. If Feng Zhanlin, Zhu Long, Nangong Lai, and the others saw Lin Muyu, one of the rulers of the divine realm, obediently listening to her dad at home, who knew how much they would laugh. Late at night, Lin Shun was angry for a while, drank some water, and went to sleep. Lin Muyu was watching TV with Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi in the living room with a laptop in her hand. Lin Yen was a guy who slept late every day, and had nothing to do, so he was watching soap operas by the side. Xiaoji, what are you checking? Lin Yen could not help but turn his face to take a look, only to find that Lin Muyu's screen was showing a map with dense markings. Checking the location, Lin Muyu said. What location? I'm going to find the location of the treasure. Lin Muyu quickly typed some numbers, looking for the location of the sleeping Gong Gong Navy. Lin Yen came over and was stunned. This is the South Sea? Yes. You're going here? Yes, why? You'd better not go. Lin Yen patted his shoulder. Why? Didn't you look at the map? This area is disputed. Just 2 days ago, the navies of Country M, Country J, and Country Y held a joint military exercise here, pressuring China. This exercise will last for nearly a month. You'd better not go, any cruise ship will be blown to pieces. If Dad knows about this, he'll scold you to death. Lin Muyu frowned. I have to go. It's just a joint exercise, it's fine. I'm just going to wake up a bunch of sleeping antiques. Are you really going? Don't worry, how can I not worry? Lin Yen widened his eyes and said, it's the 7th Fleet. It's not just a few gangsters, it's the 7th Fleet, including the USS Washington aircraft carrier. There are several guided missile cruisers, 300 to 400 carrier-based aircrafts, plus the warships of Country J and Country Y. Aren't you looking for death if you go? No one dares to move the 7th Fleet in the open sea. Even if our country mobilizes all 3 fleets, we won't have any chance of winning. You're crazy to go alone. Alright, brother. Lin Muyu patted Lin Yan's shoulder lightly. I'm not going now, I'm just checking the coordinates. I promise you, I'll go after the 7th Fleet leaves, okay? That's more like it. Lin Yan glanced at him. Are you serious? Yes. Lin Muyu leaned on the sofa, looked at the ceiling, and said to himself, if I can destroy the 7th Fleet, will that be considered loyal to my country? What did you say? Oh, nothing. I said it's a nice night tonight. Brother, why don't you go out and have fun? Go out, my foot. You're already home, Dad's also home, I have to behave myself. Huh, you're scared too. Alright, I'll stop talking. Lin Yan stood up and said, I'm going back online to practice my skills. Don't wake me up for lunch before noon tomorrow. Aren't you going to accompany us to the Longxin group? Oh, yeah. Lin Yan wailed in pain, I'm becoming more and more like a salted fish without freedom in my life. Bah, you were the one who was like a salted fish before. Chapter 1089. The next morning, Auntie Zhong prepared breakfast. After eating, they went to the headquarters of the Long Xin group. Lin Shun insisted that Lin Muyu attend the board meeting with him. Lin Muyu had no choice but to agree. The family of 3 cars slowly drove to the company in the distance. Gomang accompanied Lin Shun in a car. During this time, the main task that Lin Muyu gave Gomang was to protect his father. The car slowly drove into the area of the Long Xin group and finally entered the parking lot under the headquarters building. Lin Muyu went upstairs with Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi. The board meeting was at 9:30 in the morning. It was not long. Boss Lin, you're here, a female employee in a white work suit greeted them with a smile. Lin Yan whispered to Lin Muyu, this is Assistant Luo, my father's right-hand man in the company. You may have more contact with her in the future. You can get to know her first. Lin Muyu nodded and looked at Assistant Luo. She was about 35 years old and was still a charming young woman. Her attitude toward Lin Shun was very gentle and respectful. At this time, Assistant Luo's eyes also fell on Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and Tang Xiaoxi. She couldn't help but ask in surprise, these are? Lin Shun smiled and said, I forgot to introduce them. This is Lin Ji, my second son. These 2 are Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi, Xiao Ji's friends. These 2 little girls are so beautiful. Assistant Luo's praise was not gorgeous, but it was very sincere. At the same time, she hesitated and said, Boss Lin, didn't you say that Lin Ji has been away for many years? Yes, he just came back a few days ago, so I brought him back to familiarize himself with the company. After all, there are many personnel changes. This time, it is convenient for the major directors to get to know each other. Okay, come this way. Most of the directors are already here. Yes. The meeting room was arranged on the first floor of the Long Xin Group's headquarters. Warm sunlight shone into the meeting room, giving people a lazy feeling of autumn. As expected, more than 10 directors in suits and leather shoes had already arrived. Assistant Luo whispered, Ladies, I'll take you to the conference room next door to have a seat. The board meeting will be over soon. After all, it was a high-level meeting of the Long Xin Group. It was not good for outsiders to listen in. After all, others did not know the real relationship between Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and Tang Xiaoxi. Lin Muyu said in a low voice, Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, go over there and have some tea. Wait for me. Hurry up. The 2 little girlfriends were very obedient. Xiaoji, come with me and sit next to me, Lin Shun said. Yes, Dad. In the end, Lin Muyu and Lin Yen sat on either side of Lin Shun. After a few minutes, the board meeting began. A bald uncle smiled and said, Director Lin, who is this young master next to you? We've never seen him before. He's been away from home for more than 4 years. He's changed quite a bit. I'm sure everyone hasn't seen him before. Lin Shun smiled. Xiaoji, greet the directors. Lin Muyu stood up and bowed slightly. Hello, directors. Lin Ji is my second son. He left home for 4 years to gain experience. Now he's back. Lin Shun said, I also plan to arrange for him to help me in the company. There are many things that I'm unable to do. So it's young master. No wonder he looks so much like Director Lin. Moreover, Director Lin, you're not old either. You're very capable. Don't you think so? A group of directors echoed. Long Xian Group was a business founded by Lin Shun. The Lin family owned more than 80% of the shares. It could be said that Long Xian Group was a family business. Therefore, these shareholders and directors were naturally respectful. One word from Lin Shun could determine the direction of their lives. Lin Shun coughed and said, Before today's meeting, I'll announce something. I plan to transfer 20% of the company's shares under my name to Lin Ji's name. Therefore, in the future, Lin Ji will also be one of the company's executive directors. Please remember this. 20%. A female shareholder opened her mouth in shock. Director Lin, in this way. Lin Ji is already the second largest shareholder after you. I know. Lin Shun smiled faintly. Lin Ji is steady and smart. This decision of mine wasn't made in a day or two. In the future, I hope that everyone can learn from Lin Ji and let the group reach new heights. That's, the bald uncle squinted his eyes and smiled. Young Master Lin Yen has been in the company for so many years, but he only owns 10% of the shares. Lin Ji comes back and gives him 20%. The chairman is so biased. Lin Yen couldn't help but laugh. Uncle Wang, don't try to sow discord in our family. Dad knows that I can't keep my money, so he didn't give me too many shares. Moreover, Xiaoji is my younger brother. As long as he wants it, I don't mind giving him the whole group. Lin Muyu couldn't help but smile. Brother, don't say that. I don't want it either. I'm just helping Dad. As long as Dad is happy, I don't care about anything else. Your family is really interesting. The female shareholder chuckled. Lin Shun coughed. Then today's board meeting officially begins. Xiao Zhang, start talking. Yes, Chairman. A young and beautiful female employee stood up and opened a PowerPoint presentation. Today's main meeting is about financing virtual reality games. Currently, there are 13 games that have achieved simulation, including Destiny, Conquer, World Swordsman, Glory, and so on. Among them, Destiny has the highest degree of simulation, and Conquer and other games like Conquer can also achieve a degree of simulation of more than 80% after improving the engine. However, the players' demands for technology are getting higher and higher. Only games with 97% or more simulation will have a market. Currently, there are more than 30 games that have been jointly developed by China, America, England, and France. Among them, Eternal Daylight, Dragon Spirit, and 3000 Worlds have a degree of simulation of 99%. Continue, Lin Shun said. Little Zhang nodded. Our company has already locked onto these 3 games. Eternal Daylight is developed by Warhammer Corporation, Dragon Spirit is developed by Ouyang Nuoyan's Destiny team, and 3000 Worlds is mainly developed by an American technology company. Eternal Daylight is a fantasy theme, Dragon Spirit is a combination of Western and Western themes, and 3000 Worlds is a pure Eastern theme. The detailed development data for the 3 games are all here. The directors will understand once you look at the PowerPoint. On the PowerPoint, lines of data were listed. Lin Muyu and Lin Yen looked up. They never expected the Long Xian Corporation to have already begun to intervene in the game industry. It was likely that the gaming world would be stirred up again. Xiaoji, what do you think? Lin Shun asked. Everyone looked at Lin Muyu. In fact, many people knew Lin Muyu's original identity. She was the first person to conquer games and one of the geniuses in China's gaming world. Other than Li Xiaoyao and Fang Guke, Lin Muyu's reputation in the gaming world was probably the highest. All the data for Dragon Spirit is the highest. Even the details of the development are the most detailed. Lin Muyu looked at the PowerPoint and continued, furthermore, I've seen Ouyang Nuoyan in person. She's a very capable woman. Compared to the other 2 companies, Destiny Company knows better what kind of game can occupy the market in China. Therefore, I personally think it's better to invest in Dragon Spirit. Lin Shun smiled. We've discussed with the 3 companies. Lin Ji thinks it's better to invest in Dragon Spirit. What do you all think? The bald uncle said, the other 2 games can also be considered. Today's meeting will focus on discussion. We'll make a final decision. Okay. Lin Shun nodded and raised his teacup. He started watching the directors argue over the details. Lin Muyu was bored to death. She picked up her new phone, but there was no app on it. She could only continue watching the directors argue. When it was close to noon, they finally stopped arguing. In the end, Lin Shun announced that he would invest in the development of Dragon Spirit. He would own 8% of the shares of Dragon Spirit game. This was an unprecedented major decision. After the meeting ended, Lin Shun gave Ouyang Nuoyan a call. In the end, Ouyang Nuoyan happily decided to arrive in Shanghai 3 days later and sign the contract with Long Xian Group. After all, Long Xian Group was famous in the country. Destiny Company was happy to cooperate with such a big company. At noon, they had a buffet in the company's cafeteria. Lin Muyu brought Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi to experience the food of Long Xian Group's management. It was not bad. There was a variety of food and the taste was not bad. Then, for the entire afternoon, Lin Yen brought Lin Muyu, Qin Yin, and Tang Xiaoxi to tour the various departments of the company. They went to almost all the buildings of Long Xian Group. Lin Muyu and the rest were fine, but Lin Yen was already panting from exhaustion. Brother, you're so weak. You need to train more, Lin Muyu said. Lin Yen was so tired that his face turned red. Can I be like you? You have the Vajra body. What about me? I'm just a mortal. When are you going to teach your brother an undying secret technique? I don't know any undying secret technique, but I can teach you a Vajra protection technique. Vajra protection technique? Yes, it's cultivated by monks. F***ck, will it be ominous? Your brother still needs to get married and have kids in the future. What's there to be afraid of? Don't monks work and can get married and have kids now? That's true. When will you teach it? When you have time later. The elemental energy on Earth is scarce and not suitable for cultivation. I want to give you some external energy to help you cultivate. But your physique is too weak now. You can't take even a billionth of my strength. Pfft, how is my physique not good? The key to cultivation lies in the energy center and meridians. You've been drinking too much and your meridians are about to be damaged. Your energy center is also filled with filth and emptiness. So wait a little longer. Lin Yen was speechless. His 2 beautiful sisters-in-law giggled. It was past 4 in the evening. They got off work and went home. 3 cars slowly drove out of the company.
They had to get home before the rush hour. Otherwise, who knew how congested the roads would be? On Minhang District's West Indu Road, surprisingly, there were no cars. A few cars sped past. Lin Shun's car was at the front, Lin Yan was in the middle, and Lin Muyu was at the back. Lin Shun's car slowly stopped in front of a traffic light. Lin Muyu looked at her father's car in front of her and held the steering wheel thoughtfully. At this moment, there was a sudden whistling sound. A heavy-duty off-road vehicle came barreling from the north-south road and crashed straight into the Cadillac where Lin Shun was. Bang! In an instant, the Cadillac was pushed back nearly 5 meters by the huge impact. The heavy-duty off-road vehicle continued to rush forward with Lin Shun's car like a madman. Finally, it crashed into the green belt on the road. Glass flew everywhere. The whole car was almost torn to pieces. Dad, Lin Muyu hurriedly got out of the car and rushed over. Chapter 1090. Old thing, you're still not dead yet? A burly man jumped out of the heavy-duty SUV with an iron rod in his hand. He smashed the door of the Cadillac, breaking the lock and forcing the car to open. However, before he could stretch out his hand, vines extended out from the carriage and wrapped around his arm and iron rod. That was Gomang's wood sorcerer's power. It was enough to deal with a mere hooligan. Swoosh! Lin Muyu punched the burly man and sent him flying for nearly 10 meters. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fell on the sidewalk. Dad! Lin Muyu looked into the car and saw Gomang sitting there with a smile. The car was filled with vines and flexible leaves, protecting Lin Shun. There wasn't even a scratch on him. I'm fine. Lin Shun was still in shock. Who is this person? He wants to kill me? Lin Muyu nodded. I know this person. He's the one who wanted to beat up my brother yesterday. They're from the White Dragon Society. Gomang, protect Dad. There's more than one of them. Yes, leader. Lin Muyu turned around. As expected, another Buick was charging toward them. This time, it was targeting Lin Yan's car. Stop it! Lin Muyu shouted. The next moment, Qin Yin suddenly appeared in front of the Buick. She spread out her 5 fingers, and the power of the realm spread out like a net. The Buick hit the realm net with a bang and could not move an inch forward. Behind her, Lin Yan was stunned in the Ferrari. He was sweating. Xiao Yin is so powerful. The door of the Buick opened, and 5 to 6 people rushed out. Each of them was holding blunt weapons and rushed toward Qin Yin. They raised their arms and roared. 5 blunt weapons fell at the same time. Qin Yin frowned. A golden light suddenly appeared in her beautiful eyes. Don't use the flaming eyes. Lin Muyu's voice drifted over. He was more proficient in martial arts. In an instant, he threw a few punches consecutively, sending the hooligans flying. 4 of them had broken bones and could not get up, but one of them was lying on the ground, his bones crackling as if they were mutating. Green scales appeared on his neck, and his eyes became abnormal. His arms were surrounded by black energy, and the plants in the surrounding green zone quickly withered. How could this be? Qin Yin bit her lips. She knew this kind of power. It was the power of the law of death. Lin Muyu also frowned. Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, protect father and brother. Leave this man to me. No one would have thought that the White Dragon gang would dare to kill people in broad daylight. It was simply lawless. However, it seemed that there was a reason for them to do so. At least, the person in front of them was not someone that ordinary military police could deal with. Brat, how dare you ruin our plan? Do you want to die? The big man smiled ferociously. I will let you know that the people of White Dragon Society are not to be trifled with. As he said that, he leaped into the air.
His speed was far faster than before. The green scales on his fist shone brightly, and a black vortex danced wildly as he punched at Lin Muyu's chest. If it were an ordinary person, this blow would probably shatter their heart. This was a human who could use the power of the realm. Although this kind of realm was relatively weak, it could at least withstand ordinary bullets and swords. When Lin Muyu thought of this, she could not help but feel her scalp tingle. How could there be such a species on Earth? Lin Muyu's body sank slightly, and the supreme divine force revolved on her right fist. She punched through the air, using about 3% of her strength. Bang! In an instant, the big man's entire right arm was destroyed. He could run amok on Earth, but in front of Lin Muyu, he was not worth mentioning. If Lin Muyu wanted to, she could even crush him like an ant. Ah! The big man's entire arm was almost shattered. He screamed in pain and spat out black blood. He roared angrily, "Who the hell are you?" Lin Muyu stepped forward and punched him directly in the head, knocking him unconscious. She picked up the iron rod from the ground, twisted it into a rope, and tied him up. She looked back at Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi and said, "It seems that we won't be able to leave Earth for a while. My family is in trouble." Qin Yin nodded, pursed her red lips and said, "Yes, we will stay here. We will leave after we finish off these monsters." At this time, Lin Yan also got out of the car. Looking at the big man in Lin Muyu's hand, he could not help but feel his scalp tingle. He said, "What the hell is this thing? It's neither human nor ghost. Could it be the artificials from a few years ago? No, the artificials have long been destroyed. How could there be such a thing in Shanghai? Artificials?" Lin Muyu was surprised. When he left Earth, there was no such thing. It's a product catalyzed by a kind of technological drug. It's a cross-species genetic combination. It's neither human nor ghost, but it's very strong. Lin Muyu glanced at the big man in her hand and said, "Then this thing is definitely not an artificial's." "Why are you so sure?" Lin Yan was surprised. Lin Muyu took a deep breath and said, "Because the power in his body is not as simple as a product of technology." At this time, Lin Shun also got out of the car. He looked at the traffic jam behind him and the many people who were watching with their mobile phones. He said, "Don't talk anymore. Everyone get in the car. Take this person and follow me." Yes. Under Lin Shun's guidance, the car took a detour and drove into a certain base. There were even guards in military uniform standing guard. "Who are you?" "This is a restricted military area. You are not allowed to enter," the guard said without looking sideways. Lin Shun got out of the car and opened the trunk to reveal the ferocious big man. He said, "Is it okay now?" The guard was stunned. "You are? I know Li Xiaoyao. You know the captain? Okay, he's in the Shanghai base now. Go in immediately. I'll send someone to take you there." "Thank you." The car drove along the road and went underground. It didn't stop until a dozen turns. This was an underground base. It was brightly lit. Research rooms could be seen from afar. Looking in that direction, Qin Yin slightly frowned and said, "There's a master there." Tang Xiaoxi nodded. "Yes, the peak of the Holy Sky Realm. He's only one step away from breaking through to the God Realm. I didn't expect there to be such a master in this world." Lin Muyu couldn't agree more. The elements on Earth were relatively low. If it wasn't a truly talented person, it would be impossible for him to cultivate to this level. From the direction of the gate, a young man in a casual windbreaker walked over with a long sword wrapped in black cloth on his back. He had a casual and lazy smile on his face. He raised his arm and greeted, "Boss Lin, over here." Lin Muyu had seen this person before. He was Li Xiaoyao. She stopped the car and took out the big man from the trunk. She walked forward and threw him at Li Xiaoyao's feet. Lin Muyu said, "We meet again." "Yes, did you really come back to Earth this time?" "Not really. I just went home to visit my family and encountered this thing." "Yes, this thing is a headache." Li Xiaoyao stared at the big man's scales on the ground and said, "Mutants." At this moment, the big man suddenly woke up. His eyes were full of fierceness. He roared and was about to get up. "Lie down." Li Xiaoyao's speed was extremely fast. He directly punched the big man in the face and knocked him out again. He raised his head to look at Lin Muyu and said, "Yes, mutants. They are the upgraded version of S-rank artificials. They are even stronger. This is the fourth mutant discovered in the country. Their strength far surpasses artificials. This is not an ordinary mutant." Lin Muyu said. Why?" Li Xiaoyao was a little surprised. "Because they can use the power of the laws." "What is the power of the laws?" Li Xiaoyao didn't seem to understand the true cultivation of the laws. Lin Muyu took a deep breath and said, "Tell the unrelated people to leave. I will only show it to you. I don't want anyone else to know of my existence." "Yes." Li Xiaoyao didn't turn his head and said, "Xing Lai, bring people into the laboratory and turn off all the surveillance cameras." "Yes, Captain." After everyone left, Li Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows and said, "Lin Ji, is it okay now?" "Yes." Lin Muyu lightly opened her left hand. Suddenly, a dark red rule spirit orb appeared. Suddenly, the surrounding was filled with a ghostly aura, causing people to tremble. Lin Yan and Lin Shun were immediately forced back a few steps by this power. Even Li Xiaoyao frowned and revealed a trace of discomfort. The rule spirit orb became darker and darker. Finally, it turned into a black wave of energy that shrouded the surroundings. This was the most authentic power of the laws of death. If you have fought with these mutants, then you must recognize this power. Lin Muyu said. "You? How do you have this power?" Li Xiaoyao opened his eyes wide and said with vigilance, "You don't have anything to do with these mutants, do you?" Lin Muyu shook her head. "Of course not. If I were their leader, you would be in trouble here. Dad brought us here just to hand this mutant over to you." As he said that, he clenched his hand and all the power disappeared. Li Xiaoyao looked at him deeply and said, "Although I don't know what you have experienced, you are indeed stronger than me. If I stayed on Earth and cultivated, I definitely wouldn't be as strong as you." Lin Muyu said, "We need to cooperate. These mutants have begun to threaten the safety of my family, so I must help you get rid of them." "How do you want to get rid of them?" Li Xiaoyao clenched his fists and frowned. "Ever since the mutants appeared, our special forces in various places have suffered some losses. The most casualties were more than 20 special forces soldiers in one place. No one knows where these mutants appeared from, nor do we know what their purpose is. The real power of the mutants doesn't belong to this plane." "What do you mean?" "I suspect that someone like me has entered Earth, which is why these mutants were created. Also, this person is well versed in the power of the law of death. Perhaps it isn't just one person, but many." Li Xiaoyao's heart sank. "Looks like we're in big trouble. It would have been big trouble, but I'm back, so it shouldn't be too big." Lin Muyu said, "This mutant is working for the White Dragon Gang. Help me investigate the White Dragon Gang's background. We'll start with them first." "Sure." Li Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows and said, "I still have one more thing to ask you." "What is it?" "Please say it. Please enlighten me." "This." Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh. "All right then. It's rare to find an expert like you on Earth. I really should learn from you." Chapter 1091. Within the secret laboratory, frozen artificials and mutants' corpses were displayed in glass containers. Li Xiaoyao walked at the very front and glanced at Qin Yin, Tang Xiaoxi, Gomang, and Lin Yan behind Lin Muyu. He said, "This is a secret laboratory, so please don't tell anyone about this place. Otherwise, you'll have to rest in the guest room next door." Lin Yan nodded, understood. Li Xiaoyao grinned, "I heard Lin Yan that your guild is going to enter Destiny? Yeah, I don't know if Zhanlong is ready. No worries, I haven't been online much lately. However, Wan Er and Matcha are more than enough to compete with you guys." "Ha, I'll wait and see." Lin Muyu furrowed her eyebrows and said, "Let's talk business first." "Okay, you guys take a look at this first." Li Xiaoyao walked into the theater and said, "Shen Lin, play the video of the mutant attack on the outskirts of Hangzhou a month ago." "Yes, Captain." Very soon, a video that was not very clear was played in the hall. It was a battle that had taken place in a certain resort. Dozens of special forces and snipers with live ammunition were attacking a scarlet mutant. However, this mutant was surrounded by a faint halo that had a radius of nearly 10 meters. It was a domain. When the bullets came into contact with the domain, they would be distorted. Not a single one of the dozens of bullets managed to hit their target. In the end, a person wielding a sword charged in and beheaded the mutant. Naturally, this was the work of Li Xiaoyao. Sitting down on the table, Li Xiaoyao grinned, "You guys have all seen it, these mutants have a special ability. Not to mention bullets, even missiles can't accurately lock onto their position. These past few months, these mutants have continuously attacked Hangzhou, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Xiamen, causing us quite a bit of damage. We are currently developing new weapons that can fight against these mutants." "How's the progress?" Lin Muyu asked. "There's no progress." Li Xiaoyao was a bit dispirited. "We dissected the mutant's body, but we didn't find anything out of the ordinary, nor did we find anything that emitted this power." "Of course you won't be able to find out." Lin Muyu smiled faintly. "That's the power of a domain. It's similar to a magnetic field, but it's much stronger than the geocentric magnetic field. That's why it can affect the trajectory of a bullet and even the operation of all the electronic equipment around it." Li Xiaoyao was stunned. Xing Lai, the special police officer, opened his mouth and said, "Boss, it's exactly as he said. After we got close to the mutants several times, our communicators and electronic sites all lost their effectiveness. Even the nano bullets didn't have the slightest effect on these mutants. Of course. Moreover, even if a bullet hits, it won't hurt him. The gang qi outside the body of a mutant is very strong. It's enough to resist a normal missile." "How do you know so much?" The burly officer next to Xing Lai asked, "Who are you?" Li Xiaoyao frowned. "Fu Tu, you're rude. They're all my VIPs, and they're here to help us solve our problem." Fu Tu looked at Lin Muyu suspiciously and said, "I don't know if you're telling the truth. You talk so much, but do you really have the ability to do that?" Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh. "Do you want to verify it?" "How do you want to verify it?" Fu Tu was a straightforward and reckless special police officer, and he immediately got into it. Lin Muyu raised her eyebrows. "Pull out your gun and shoot at me. See if you can hit me. Don't joke around." Fu Tu laughed coldly. "I don't want to kill anyone. The premise is that you don't have the ability to do so." "What did you say?" Fu Tu immediately pulled out the gun at his waist and pointed it at Lin Muyu. "Hey, what are you trying to do?" Lin Shun anxiously shouted. Lin Muyu said, "Dad, it's fine. He can't hurt me." As he said that, Lin Muyu walked to the door and smiled. "Come, Fu Tu, let me see how good your marksmanship is. Don't force me." Fu Tu's hand that was holding the gun was very steady. It was obvious that he was a veteran. Xing Lai frowned and looked at Li Xiaoyao with a questioning gaze. Li Xiaoyao crossed his legs and said, Fu Tu, aim at his head and shoot. Xing Lai, Qin Yin, Tang Xiaoxi, and Gomang sat there leisurely. They couldn't be bothered to watch. The guns on Earth couldn't hurt Lin Muyu at all. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the God Emperor. Fu Tu gritted his teeth and pulled the trigger. Pang! A faint flame shot out from the muzzle and the bullet almost reached Lin Muyu's chest at the same time. The trajectory was shockingly fast. However, in Lin Muyu's eyes, the speed was simply too slow. A golden quicksand flowed between his fingers and suddenly swept in front of him. With a pang sound, the bullet flew out and landed on the wall, creating a hole. Xing Lai was dumbfounded. Even Li Xiaoyao couldn't do this. Li Xiaoyao, who had already stepped into the Yang Yen realm, was already considered one of the top experts on Earth. However, there was always someone stronger. This kid that had just arrived was even more ruthless. Fu Tu, put away the gun. Weapons are used to deal with enemies. Lin Ji is one of us. Li Xiaoyao jumped off the table and said, It seems that our team needs to meet this White Dragon gang. Maybe we can dig out the truth about the mutants from their mouths. If you need my help, just tell me. Lin Muyu smiled and said, I will stay on Earth for a month. I will definitely need your strength. Don't worry. Li Xiaoyao thought for a while and looked deeply at the image of the mutants on the screen. He said, According to the information I received, the White Dragon gang is very scattered. Their boss is very cunning. No one knows who he is. So, it will be very difficult to dig out the location of the White Dragon gang in a day or two. Lin Muyu said, Unfortunately, I gave up the ability to read minds when I broke through. Otherwise, it would be easy. I just need to interrogate this person and the truth will be revealed. Read minds? That's easy. Li Xiaoyao laughed and said, I asked one heir to rush over tonight. You reminded me. This makes things much easier. You mean Tsang Tong? Yes, one heir knows how to read minds. With her help, things will be easy. Okay, then we will wait for your good news. Okay. Li Xiaoyao raised his hand and said, Shunlin, prepare to send the guest off. Oh no, I almost forgot one thing. There is a closed training room in the base. It was specially designed for me. Lin Ji, do you want to go and have a look? Lin Muyu naturally knew what he meant. She raised the corner of her mouth and said, Okay. Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi, you accompany Dad home first. I will fly back later. Lin Shun frowned and said, Are you guys going to fight? Leaderly, you are a famous master. Let Lin Ji. Li Xiaoyao couldn't help but laugh. Boss Lin, you think too much. You should say that to your son. The training room was completely dark until Li Xiaoyao turned on the light. Xing Lai and Fu Tu stood in the corner of the training room with guns in their hands. Even Shunlin, who was wearing a woman's uniform, was making coffee for the two people who were about to fight. Li Xiaoyao raised his hand and slowly pulled out his sword. He said, Do you use a sword? Yes. He held the sword horizontally in front of his chest and said, My sword is called Butterfly. It is very sharp. The Nangong siblings made it for me and made a lot of contributions to the special police force. Take it easy. Now, draw your sword, Lin Ji. Lin Muyu raised her right hand and made a grabbing motion in the air. Suddenly, she pulled out a golden sword that was enshrouded in awe-inspiring righteousness. There were different patterns and lusters flowing on the sword. She said, I have an advantage in weapons. This sword is called Xianyuan. I think you should know about it. Xianyuan sword? Li Xiaoyao was stunned. Lin Muyu smiled slightly. Yes, it is the legendary Xianyuan sword. Come on, you attack and I will defend. Let me see the power of the #1 master in China. Li Xiaoyao didn't say anything. He looked at Lin Muyu as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Suddenly, he let out a low roar. On the blade of the sword, a cold flame swept up. It was the legendary Yang Yen fire, which was also the king of fighting fire in the world of cultivation. Lin Muyu didn't want to damage Li Xiaoyao's sword. She silently used the power of law. Blue rock energy surrounded the Xianyuan sword so that the two swords wouldn't collide head-on. In an instant, Li Xiaoyao flew past like an arrow leaving the bow. His speed was shockingly fast. He lived up to his reputation. Li Xiaoyao's speed was top-notch even in the immortal realm. Lin Muyu was secretly shocked. She gently flipped the Xianyuan sword in her hand to block the butterfly. With a ding sound, flames rose. A scorching temperature was transmitted through the Xianyuan sword into Lin Muyu's palm. There was a faint burning sensation. Lin Muyu was even more surprised. Although Li Xiaoyao was in the Holy Heaven realm according to the rules of the cultivation world, this attack was probably not as simple as the Holy Heaven realm. His king fighting fire was different from the king fighting fire of the Shattered Cauldron realm. It was more scorching and unrestrained. Clang! Clang! In an instant, there were two heavy slashes. Li Xiaoyao's steps were steady. Flames swirled around him. The two heavy slashes actually forced Lin Muyu to move 2 meters to the side. "Boss, good job." Fu Tu laughed and cheered. However, Xing Lai frowned and didn't say anything. He could tell that Lin Muyu hadn't used her full strength. In fact, she hadn't even fought back. Right at this moment, Lin Muyu had already decided to retaliate. She gently retracted her left fist, and a raging flame erupted. It was also the king's fighting flame, and she blasted it towards Li Xiaoyao's lower abdomen. Li Xiaoyao's reaction was extremely fast. He turned his body to the side and pressed his palm against the ground. His right leg was surrounded by the Yang flame armor. Bang! The raging flame splashed out, but this time, it was Li Xiaoyao who was knocked back. The powerful shock caused him to spin backwards. The raging flames danced around his body, actually wrapping around his body to keep him in the air. Lin Muyu couldn't help but be shocked. Good heavens, he had already gained the ability to fly. He was indeed a rare and talented expert. Alright, that's enough. Lin Muyu waved her hand and put the Xianyuan sword into her Qianquan bag. It was as if the golden light had suddenly dissipated in the air. But the winner hasn't been decided yet, right? Shen Lin said. Li Xiaoyao was slightly embarrassed. He smiled and said, "The winner has been decided." "I'm afraid Lin Ji didn't even use 1/10 of his strength?" Lin Muyu smiled slightly. She didn't expose him. She said, "Xiaoyao, do you feel that your strength has reached the peak, but you can't break through?" "How do you know?" Li Xiaoyao was shocked. This situation has been going on for a long time. Because the spiritual energy in this plane is very sparse. It's not enough for you to break through. I can help you with this. Li Xiaoyao, Xing Lai, Shen Lin, and the others were all stunned. Chapter 1092. So. How are you going to help me? Li Xiaoyao handed over a cup of coffee. Lin Muyu took the coffee and took a sip. She sat on the seat next to him and said with a smile, "I told you the last time I saw you, I'm not in this plane. In the plane I'm in, the cultivation above you is the legendary divine realm. Well, the next stage of Yang Yen is indeed called soul formation. But for thousands of years, there have been very few gods on this land. Do you know why? I don't know, too much spiritual power has been released. The spiritual power on Earth is no longer enough to sustain the absorption of cultivators. So it's really commendable that you can reach the cultivation you have today. Lin Muyu took out a handful of peacefulness berries from her Qianquan bag and said, "Here, this is a spiritual fruit. Eat one a day. Eat one now, and then I'll give you a big gift." Li Xiaoyao pinched the peacefulness berry and frowned. "Is it delicious?" "Of course, strawberry flavor." "Sure." Lin Muyu glanced at Shenlin, Xing Lai, and the others and said, "You guys go out first. Wait outside for a while. I have something to say to Xiaoyao. It's best not to let outsiders see it." Xing Lai looked at Lin Muyu warily and said, "Captain Li is our leader. He has the rank of Major General. You won't do anything, right?" Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh. "He's my friend. I won't hurt him. Don't worry." "Okay." Xing Lai pushed the door open and walked out with Fu Tu and Shenlin. At this time, Li Xiaoyao frowned. His whole body faintly emitted wisps of flames. He had unknowingly entered the state of Yang Yen armor. What's going on? He turned pale with fright. Lin Muyu smiled and said, "The spiritual power in the peacefulness berry is very strong. This is the situation where your power is automatically spitting out, so don't worry. But there may be some pain later. You have to be prepared." "What gift do you want to give me?" Li Xiaoyao asked. Lin Muyu gently spread her 5 fingers, and suddenly, a bright gem with flames lingering around it appeared in front of Li Xiaoyao. "Damn, a pigeon's egg hit a blazing diamond?" Li Xiaoyao was shocked. Lin Muyu almost coughed up blood. "Pei, this isn't a diamond, it's a fire law immortal forging lattice. It's a godhood, a supreme treasure that must be obtained to become a god. Do you know that it's priceless? I can't afford it. I'm just a poor SWAT officer. I'm giving it to you. You don't have to buy it." Lin Muyu lightly spread her left hand, and immediately, strands of Fushi's godly power wrapped around Li Xiaoyao's body like a ribbon. He said in a low voice, "Xiaoyao, don't reject this godly power. Relax your mind and body, and just accept it. Your physique is already strong enough to endure the power of this immortal forging lattice. I will help you refine this godhood and form an immortal forging lattice that belongs to you." Li Xiaoyao's body was covered in raging flames, and he felt a vast and majestic power surging into his body. He couldn't help but frown in pain, but he gritted his teeth and endured it, not making a sound. SSSSSS, the immortal forging lattice continuously disintegrated in Lin Muyu's palm, turning into strands of fiery light that seeped into Li Xiaoyao's body. This process was extremely long and arduous, and the one who suffered the most was none other than Li Xiaoyao. The meridians and qi in his body seemed to have expanded by more than 10 times, but Lin Muyu used a strange power to protect his heart meridians, so although the process was painful, it was extremely safe. A long time passed just like that, bit by bit. After a whole 4 hours, the refining process was finally completed, and Li Xiaoyao was sitting cross-legged on the floor tiles. A resplendent and sparkling new godhead was faintly discernible between his eyebrows, and the power of fire lingered around it. It was extremely beautiful. Lin Muyu also sat on the ground, and said, "Damn, you almost scared me to death. What's wrong?" Normally, refining and reforging a godhead to absorb 20% of the original godhead is already considered a miracle, but Xiaoyao, you absorbed almost 40% of the original godhead's power. Don't you think you scared me? Lin Muyu took a deep breath, and said, "In time, your cultivation will be limitless." Li Xiaoyao was silent for a few seconds, until he slowly let out a turbid breath, and opened his eyes, and said, "This feeling is becoming a god?" "Yes, you're a real god now." As she said that, Lin Muyu stood up, and patted his shoulder. "How about it, do you want to go to the divine realm? With your talent, at most, you can become a god emperor in a year, at most, and complete in 5 years, as long as you want, you can become an overlord." Li Xiaoyao shook his head, and said with a smile, "No, this is my home, I have to protect it." Lin Muyu nodded, and did not say a word. Li Xiaoyao picked up the already cold coffee again, and took a sip, and said, Lin Ji, although I don't know what you've been through, I am very surprised by your strength, is that so? And then? My mission is to protect my country, and then to accompany my girlfriend, and love her. What about you, what is your mission? Li Xiaoyao's eyes were burning, as if he could see through everything, when a person has absolute power, if he can't protect, then he will conquer, and destroy. What about you? Lin Muyu also picked up the coffee, and took a sip, and said, when I have the ability to guard thousands of realms, I will return to Earth, and do the same thing as you. This is my home. Li Xiaoyao couldn't help but smile, and stretched out his hand, welcome home. Lin Muyu shook his hand, and said, when I wasn't home, you were the one who protected my family, and thank you, Xiaoyao. You're welcome, I'm getting paid. Tui, I'm going back to accompany my girlfriend. The Xiao Yin just now? Not just Xiao Yin, Xiao Shi too, I have 2 girlfriends. Tui. What about you? I have 2 too. Tui. It was a quiet autumn night, and the villa was peaceful and serene. Lin Muyu landed on the balcony, and this time, she didn't knock on the window, but directly broke through the void, passed through the window, and sat between Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi, and drank the water on the coffee table, and said, I'm back. I know. Qin Yin picked up the remote control, and changed the channel. Tang Xiaoxi was holding a bag of chips, and she was busy fighting. Lin Muyu was a little speechless, and said, are the 2 of you used to life here? Once you return to Lanyan City, won't you die of emptiness? No, with you around, how can we feel emptiness? Qin Yin smiled, and asked, how did the spar with Li Xiaoyao go? No result, but I gave a cast immortal fate from the Dragon League to Li Xiaoyao. Huh? Tang Xiaoxi froze, and said, is Li Xiaoyao reliable? You've created a powerful god. What if he becomes the king of this plane after he has godly power? He won't. Lin Muyu shook her head, and said, I can see that he's a kind person, and kindness will be buried deep in his heart like a seed, germinating, and growing into a towering tree. Such a person won't turn bad. Qin Yin snuggled up to Lin Muyu, stretched, and said, it's late, shouldn't we sleep? Yeah, Lin Muyu sensed with her spiritual sense and said, Dad is asleep, and brother is playing games, so we should sleep too. How about, you 2 come to my room tonight? What for? Tang Xiaoxi asked with a smirk. Lin Muyu couldn't help but blush, and said, are you coming or not? Yes, yes, yes. 20 minutes later, in Lin Muyu's room, he was glad that the bed was big enough, and he was even more glad that Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi were girls from the Shattered Cauldron realm, so they could accept such things since they were young. They slept together, and after the lights were turned off, the dark room was only illuminated by a little moonlight from the balcony outside. The faint sound of a truck engine came from afar, and the occasional chirping of cicadas in autumn. Everything seemed so quiet and peaceful. Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi hugged Lin Muyu's arms, one on the left and one on the right. They enjoyed this kind of peaceful life, far away from the fighting and battles in the Shattered Cauldron realm. Dad was at home, and he was already asleep. Brother was an otaku who was addicted to games. Everything was so natural and right. Lin Muyu couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. On his arms, 2 beautiful girls' full breasts were pressing on top of him. That kind of feeling was self-explanatory. He stared at the ceiling, unable to fall asleep no matter how hard he tried. After some time, Qin Yin said faintly in his arms, what's wrong? Can't sleep? Yes. On the other side, Tang Xiaoxi said, I can't sleep either. Lin Muyu said in a low voice, should we do something that has been delayed for so many years? Qin Yin's face instantly turned red, and she said, what thing? Tang Xiaoxi laughed softly, and said, didn't you say that maintaining your virginity is good for cultivation? It's okay, I'm already invincible, is that so? The two girls asked at the same time, and their hot bodies hugged him even tighter. In the darkness, Lin Muyu thought for a moment, and then kissed Qin Yin's red lips, and his right hand unbuttoned Tang Xiaoxi's clothes. For a moment, he was filled with a warm fragrance, and happiness filled the night. That night, the wind blew fiercely, thunder and lightning flashed, and the two main god-level goddesses gave their first time to the person they loved. It wasn't until the second half of the night that Lin Muyu tightly hugged his two girlfriends and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, the warm sunlight passed through the curtains and fell on the bed. Lin Muyu slowly woke up, but found that Qin Yin and Tang Xiaoxi were still sound asleep in his arms. He moved slightly, and the two girls woke up almost at the same time. Ah! Qin Yin let out a soft cry. What's wrong? There's pain down there. Do you want to treat it? Lin Muyu was very nervous. Qin Yin was a woman for the first time, and she blushed. Big idiot, how do you treat this? Do you bandage it or apply medicine? On the other side, Tang Xiaoxi pouted, it hurts me too, and I need to eat breakfast to be healed. I want bread and milk. Lin Muyu couldn't help but laugh, and lightly patted his two girlfriends' shoulders. I'll go prepare breakfast for you, you can sleep a bit more. Okay. When Lin Muyu got dressed and opened the door, he just happened to see Lin Yan walk out of the room. His hair was messy, and he looked like he didn't have enough sleep. Good morning, brother. Are you awake or not asleep? I just woke up, but I didn't sleep much. Huh, why do you look so dispirited? No. I'm going to prepare breakfast. Humph, you ran so fast, you look like you have a guilty conscience. Lin Yan looked at Lin Muyu's room door, and grinned, little brat, you're quite lucky with women. Looks like our Lin family is going to have a lot of people soon, ha ha ha. You're tuning in to the Unparalleled SwordWill YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.